Oh, not too bad the way I tell it.
That's got. I got a new
What?
pair of headphones on China. How's everything sound? Am I okay on your end?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, sweet.
You know the thing. We got to have some kind of intro. General Lack in the house. Hey, Lack.
Good to see
No,
you,
that's
That's
not
gentlemen.
awesome
us
background, dude.
hiding back there.
Is that just green screen, or
What's that?
I don't know
is
how I
that
did
just
it.
a green screen, or how do you do that
Oh no,
background? You got?
the iPhone does it. Anybody with an
Oh,
iPhone?
that
Look at that.
really? That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Some,
hadn't seen that one yet.
Now
yeah.
it leaves you sterile afterwards, but if you don't mind that,
Yeah.
I ain't have to, yeah, I'm past the childbearing age anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
not me. I want to have another half dozen.
I was
Hey,
FaceTiming my kids one day, and I gave my son a thumbs up, and I said, "What in the world is that?" So then I had to do some research on what was going on.
So what? You can just trigger it with like hand signals?
Yeah, yeah, they're built into whatever the newest update is for the iPhone.
No,
And
wow, that's crazy.
I'm learning new ones all the
so
time.
if you did something like that, I'm just,
Yeah,
So if you
I haven't even figured them all out. You know.
I haven't figured
so
that
if
out
you
either.
flip somebody the bird, what happens?
Oh, I don't know. I don't. It might not do anything.
There you go.
they might not. They might not have went that far. But
Yeah. Now the way you did it was like that, but well, I guess that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah,
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 it was just the way
I
you
don't
had
know.
your hand turned. It looked like
yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
finally
I
felt it.
can't get my hand turned all
No,
the
Rex.
way over. No, Rex. Yeah, yeah. Who knows?
Picking up some
that's all.
audio feedback. Yeah, there's a little, Sorry, I missed
It could
your
be the
man.
new headphones. I'm not sure.
Well, we're
Mute me
supposed to
for a
have
second.
on
See if
Shadow
it.
Nerd Comics, Mercenary Guild. We're just waiting on him. But now Lack has the drawn interior, and let me show you some new things that I put up on the campaign.
A.
Court. Yeah. So we redid. Are we seeing that? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we redid the picture there to include the Jimmy Reyes wraparound, and we did that wraparound there. We made this bold here, this text, although I'm going to redo this, and he's on my ass to do a new write up, and it's like, yeah, I've got a paragraph done, but I've been putting up images. We're going to enlarge these. These were a little small. These single issue pictures. We'll enlarge those. We've got the Jimmy Reyes up there. I say not final image because there's one thing I would like the colorist to change, and that's to darken out his face some more. You know, we got the midnight up there on the drawn interior, and we did drop the price, but you and Crooked Painter are going to get some special stuff for being for the price. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not worried.
We
I'm
moved
proud to
it.
be a part of it.
We moved the typewriter up, and we're going to put in 2 columns of people that's on here, like Carol's Colors for doing the tapestry art colors, and then also Anthony Romano because he's going to do a little bit of coloring, color, make it pop, whatever, on the tapestry art, the blacklight poster tapestry. We got me in there saying, buy my book now. Art by Rob Ewing.
Rex doing his best piece of limitation.
Yeah, exactly. 2-page drawn interior artwork over there. We moved
Nice.
Midnight up so it would be coupled with this piece. Of course, there's Lack right there. Love it. Crooked Painter. The only thing that bothered me a little bit, and maybe you can put my mind to rest at this, is we did it like the photo where you have modern day spectacles on. Now, Crooked Painters looks a little old timey the way it is. They might not be, but they're not straight on like yours are. I don't know, but they're time traveling, so you could have picked these up in the future.
Yeah, they
brought
might
them
be. They might be X-ray specs. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, that you bought for like 50 cents and a penny dreadful.
Hey, his eyes didn't go back until 1964. He had to get them in the future.
We tightened up some of these images here as far as gray toning, and this too, the Armored Devil Flyer. And I went in there today and put in the little inch signs on the dimensions of everything. That's not all I did, but we got Tank Ferret's Cy Marco piece up on both sides, put it up for sale. It's available now.
Nice.
We put up some more fantastic art, early artwork from like 2022 by me. Dead Ninja here. That will be a trading card in the trading card set. Sargasso, that'll be a trading card, fully colored, done by me. I guess I need to put that colorist on there as part of the art team too. And then we got Kill Dragon here, and we got Blood Dragon. That'll be front and back. Rob Ewing bystander piece there. Doc's pieces. We had some yellowing spots on there or whatever. We gray toned it and it looks sharper. We got some
Does
artwork
with
here.
just coffee stains, don't lie.
It could be, yeah. And then we've got some John Dillard pieces here that he's done for me. Look at that bystander feeling pain, being struck by something. Everybody gets a free 6 a.m. sticker. I got one of my head sketches in there of Geo, 6x4 character head sketch for everybody. Devil Flyer sign up card. I haven't got the artwork in that yet, or the fan club card, but I do have the wording in there. And we've got the stretch goals. We've got this. We gray tone this out as well. The Apex Comics. That's just the pencils. The actual end thing is inked by me and with a little bit of spot coloring in a couple of spots. Gotta have that Kirby crackle in the background. And I put the little sand color there. It's inked and little spot colored. Everybody will be getting that if it's the stretch goal. You have the potential of getting, I lose count now, maybe up to 16 trading cards or more. Maybe more than that if you had the trading card thing. Anyway. Eric and Boyd in the house, PBR in the house, Apex Comics in the house. Campaign looks great. Thank you. I'm working on the Dead Ninja logo. Cool. Fembat versus Midnight.
Eric, how's the sound? You're my trusted sound man. Anything, feedback, anything for mine? No.
What's that?
I'm just checking out and see who came in the chat. And then we have Omer Glitch also, because that's the next stretch goal. At $4,000, you'll get the Apex trading card and the Omer Glitch bog head in full color. And then we have the next stretch goal will be the bog sticker, 6 a.m. bog sticker by itself. I might add something to that. We'll see. And then I put in a 5,000 stretch goal Hopper and Lady Hopper sticker because we're doing a sticker book. We haven't got it up there yet. That'll probably go up tomorrow. And there's the Hoppers art by Rob Ewing. And then I'm going to put in a 5,500. That's to be announced. It'll be a real good one. And then we put in three-page sneak preview of the origin of Bog with art.
Okay, thank you.
Of Rob Ewing. Looks
Excellent.
good to round it out.
Yeah.
Some barbarian action, you know, in the book.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And that's what I've been working on.
That looks good, man. You're a busy man.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to meet that. I'm going to be on with Red Valkyrie. She's going to cosplay, as far as I know, another character of mine. It will not be Devil Flyer because she never. It could be Armored Up Devil Flyer though. Could be Midnight. I hope she doesn't pick Midnight. Could be Bog. I'm hoping she does Bog, but you know.
Yeah, any of those would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I'm excited about writing your character. Now it's going to be in a pulp. You know what a pulp magazine is? What the pulps were back in the 30s, 20s, and 40s. Mm-hmm. They were like well over 100 pages. I don't, maybe up to 140 something pages. Mm-hmm. So we've got room to like write a chapter or a story with nothing but your character, or you know, you could meet Crooked Painter or somebody else in the world. You know, you can meet Midnight.
Yeah, who knows?
It just depends on how. But I see your character as a tracker, as a scout, as a ladies' man with the ladies when you come into town. I mean, basically your life story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you just got back from deer hunting a week or so ago, right? Did you have any luck?
No, I saw a lot of does, but I did not see any legal bucks. But okay. I was in an area that I've never been to, so I was happy to get as much information as I could, you know. And we, my friend and I, we were on the trail of a pretty good buck, and I had called him in pretty close, but there was a small opening that he got stuck in. You know, he was in a bit of brush, and we were across an opening, and I was calling him, and he was ready, but he was just a little nervous, and he kept pacing back and forth, grunting at us. But I could not get him to come out because I told my friend, I said, look, I'm going to walk off calling, and maybe that will draw him out. But he, you know, I don't know. I think my friend might have been swatting at mosquitoes a bit too much. I think he might have spotted something that wasn't quite kosher for him, you know, but we had a good time. It's all about having a good time and being in the wilderness, you know, and being close to nature. So we had a great time.
Tank Ferret
well,
says
that's the thing with those bucks, man. You know, the more seasons they survive, the smarter they get as far as hunters go. You know, so
yeah, they get big by doing the same thing everybody else does. That's for sure.
That's right, man. Keep your wits about it.
Yeah, he was nervous coming across that opening, but we had a good time, you know. I mean, we definitely heard him. He was right there.
That's awesome.
We had a good time. I'd like to be able to go back when I get a chance to do some shed hunting in the next couple of weeks, if my schedule allows it.
Now, for those that don't know, what is shed hunting?
Oh, during after the rut, all your antlered animals they shed their antlers after the rut, and some people making a lucrative business of actually going out and finding the antlers that have fallen off the deer or the elk or moose or, you know, anything that has an antler. That's the difference between an antler and a horn, right? An antler falls off and regrows here,
right?
While as a horn stays on.
Yeah, I know a few.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a few people around here that have made deals with knife makers, and they'll go out, collect antlers, and then sell them to the guys. You know, and they make them for scales for knives and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, antler handle and stuff. Yeah.
I worked on a ranch in Iowa, and we had a guy that had a deal with the landowner. He'd come out. He had some dogs that were trained to sniff out. That's how you really can find your sheds, is you get a good dog and train them to.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
But you know, he had a year where he made $100,000 just on shed hunting. You know,
I don't think you have to have a license to hunt for antlers, do you?
No. As far as now, I don't know about every state. I think that there are some, like there are some state-owned areas and certainly like national parks and stuff where you're not allowed to remove things like that. But most anywhere where you can hunt and it's public land and stuff like that, you can just pick them up.
Oh, it's been warm. If it's warm enough, yeah, you'll get mosquitoes. I've had snow on the ground and had them in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Hail, Apex Bullard, and Genuine D. Howdy.
I think there's like 17 different varieties of mosquitoes in Arkansas right now.
Wow. Yeah.
No,
We've got a new one called the Amazonian or something. They say when it bites you, you'll know it because it really hurts.
I bet. Anything. Yeah. I think in Alaska, I think there's 34 subspecies of mosquito, I think.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
How many?
34, I believe.
34. I wouldn't doubt that. So. I wouldn't doubt that. I saw pictures of a sheet laid out because I went down there and sprayed around Gainesboro and outside an hour outside of Gainesboro drive time. So I don't know how far down south we went into Florida, but they spread out this big sheet and they had a big pyramid of mosquitoes one night out of the traps. 25,000 one night.
Wow. Yeah, I believe that.
Well,
I bet the trap couldn't hold anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, the traps are only so big.
Rex,
I went down there to that prison down there, man. They had like 10 big facilities. They had, the guy that was navigating for me, I was driving. I didn't see anything. Did you see that possum? No. Did you see those 10 deer? No. I didn't. The 10 deer were right there by the prison. So, and they were watching us, you know, as we come in the parking lot, they watch you no matter what you do, you know. I did prison ministry for about 7 years. And there's 3 things you got to remember: security.
Right.
And if they take you hostage, they're not going to negotiate for you because they're not going to let any of those guys out. No way in hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about keeping them pent up and secure. There's no way they're going to cut a deal for you. 10 deer sounds like an Indian name.
There you go.
What are they? It sounds like you're saying tin deer, like they're made out of tin. Do you got to oil them up every now and again?
That's right.
There's an oil can.
Well, I'm sure hey, Edwin, and we have Dillard draws in the house. I'm sure you've seen where where they're, you know, clashing and one of them gets hung up and maybe the head's hanging off. Somehow, I don't know how that happens. You got to wait till it rots off, right? Or something.
Yeah, well, when they shed their antlers after, like we just talked about, when they go, it'll eventually drop off.
If one dies hooked into the other one, then, you know, it won't fall off naturally. Right.
But what I'm saying is, does it just eat grass with the other deer attached till it finally rots around the neck?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it can. If it can, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not like...
That's a major impediment there, having another deer attached to your head. You'd have to get water, you know.
Yeah. Deer are one of the few that survive very long after being hooked up, too. You know, like when I worked in Montana, you'd usually find both elk and then in Alaska, the moose, too. You know, it's, you know, if you're a moose with another 1,800-pound moose, as strong as they are, it's hard to maneuver, you know. But deer seem to have a much higher survival rate than other antlered animals when they get stuck together like that, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I've had some friends that have found skulls and different stuff. You know, me and my granddad, we shot a big bull moose that was hooked into another one. It was the only real reason we got him, you know, is he just couldn't run away fast enough, you know. But and he didn't, you know, and he was real lean and didn't taste very good and was full of adrenaline, and but it was good to put him out of his misery instead of slowly starving to death or dying from thirst or whatever.
Yeah, it couldn't have
Long
been
death
good for
would have had. Mhm.
him. Dragging around another 1,800-pound body for God knows how long. It
Yeah,
slowly rots.
yeah, and then I would imagine the wolves. Maybe not so much down in the south where there's not too many predatory animals, but in
Right.
Alaska, I don't think a moose would last too long being hung
So,
up.
I mean, are they going to eat the dead deer? I mean, wouldn't they attack the live deer that's attached to a
They
Yeah,
eat them
deer?
both, dude, but
I think they would.
they'll eat them both.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they
I
would
would think
probably
so.
go after both pretty
Yeah,
easily.
But yeah, they'd probably kill the live one first, and then just
Mhm.
eat
right.
him first, and then eat whatever was still. But it's amazing what wolves and wild dogs can eat, dude. Their stomachs can eat, stuff that you ate that shit, you'd be dead in a week.
And I don't want to hear it. I mean, remember you were telling me a coyote slick? I had a coyote slick out on my. Have you seen one of those lack?
Mhm.
Yeah, out on my front yard. I was like, "What is this?" And
Really?
Shadowhawk had to tell me what it was. It was because there
hmm
are some coyotes, and when I let my dog out at night, I kind of watch.
Well,
We had
because
I had a
they're
bear
like
here,
black as
white bear.
tar, dude.
I
Yeah,
had a
coyote
bear about
like
6 months ago or whatever, a few months ago, about 6 blocks away from my house.
oh
Spotted.
wow,
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
bear here.
that's cool.
Yeah.
They're
Even
It
making a
here.
is
comeback
unless you
out
get
there.
attacked.
Yeah. You can
That's
hunt.
cool.
Yeah. You can hunt them in your state, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure we got bear season, I guess.
I think y'all can. There's not too many places where they. There's not too many places where they don't let you. They do not let you in down here where I'm at in Florida right now, which is
No, no.
I think that they'll probably change that in the next 10 or 15 years because they're extremely overpopulated and
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that happens
Hey, you
when it
guys,
gets
what do you got? Mostly black bear down there, like?
yeah, nothing but black bears down here.
so I mean,
Okay.
I don't know about here in Arkansas. I imagine we have a short bear season. But I've got a friend, he goes up to where they used to live up in Colorado and he bear hunts up there.
Mhm.
Yeah, we still don't have any
And they got big
return
ones up
of
there. They got
population
big
here
Mhm.
in Indiana. We don't, as far as I know, we're still at zero as far as black bears.
Oh, really?
ones. Well, we'll give you
Yeah,
a few.
Yeah,
a lot of black bears here in Florida get way bigger than than black bears in Alaska. Because
really. Yeah, well,
No,
probably. I mean, they eat good all year long, right?
they're
they
eating
eat
that
all year
trash, aren't
long.
they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's even without the introduction of eating people's garbage or whatever. There's a lot of food down here. I mean, there's berries and
Ah,
armadillos and
hmm
possums and baby deer, and there's a
Yeah.
lot more food down here. And they don't
all
hibernate.
the all
You
the snakes, all the fish. They're good fishermen, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, they.
And
So,
I think like I said, the main thing is that they do not hibernate down here. So they have 365 days of growing and eating, and
oh, that's
you know,
crazy. Yeah.
whereas in Alaska, they'll go to sleep for 7, 8, sometimes 9 months, depending on how bad the weather is.
Now, Eric,
Yeah, depending on how
Black
cold it
is
is.
not Shadow Mare Comics. I saw you make a comment up there. He's not Shadow Mare Comics. We're actually waiting
No,
on
no,
them to see if they're going to show up.
I'm
If
just the general.
he's just the general, so you better salute him.
I was going to mention, I don't know how many people in your comic have the actual hat, but this is the hat that you drew.
Yeah. Well, I didn't draw it. Jay Krieger did, but
Oh,
yeah.
well, this is I don't know I don't know if the other people if he added those hats, but this is the actual hat I've
Well,
had.
now if you'll notice, he on Crooked Painter, he's
Mhm.
wearing
He's wearing a Billy Jack.
your Billy Jack hat.
Yeah, yeah.
But you only kind of get the band of it. The way the picture is, he's
Yeah.
it worked out.
I did notice it because of the brim, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he drew the head on me as well. I just sent him. bareheaded pictures.
Yeah, he asked for like a Jay Krager's favorite Western is Two Mules for Sister Sarah, or what's the name
Oh yeah,
of it?
2 Mules for Sister Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Shadowhawk wanted Clint Eastwood's hat from that movie,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's the
that was a good
hat
one.
he's wearing. Yeah,
That was a good one. Had just enough comic relief to be believable. Yeah, I always did like that one. That's one that nobody ever
Yeah.
mentions hardly. As far as Clint Eastwood.
For some reason, that one always stuck with me. And you know what it was the first time I watched it? Is he hawks that big old spit wad of tobacco juice onto
on the
that poor
dog.
little yellow lad.
Well, yeah.
But now
And, like, that
that's a
pissed
different
me off
movie.
when I was a little kid, dude. That's not Two Mules? Is that the other one? Outlaw
I think
Josey
he does
Wales.
that. I think he does that in quite a few. I think he does that in more than one film.
Oh, he might. Yeah.
I
Really?
think he does.
Okay, maybe.
I think he does.
Okay, I could swear he does it in 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. And I was just like, dude, what an asshole.
But now in that one where it's the Red Dog or whatever, the Red Dog comes to his defense.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's been mistreated by Clint Eastwood, he still pals around with him, and it's alpha male
That's because
behavior, right?
dogs are fucking awesome, bro. Dogs
Oh
are the
yeah.
best people on earth.
I can't remember the TV series. I've got it on Disc-Lack, but Ronald Reagan hosted the show in the early 60s. And he actually played some of the roles in some of the episodes, not every episode. But now he did one with a lawyer, played a lawyer that would later go on to be a senator in the state. And this kid has a dog and it gets on somebody else's property and he's been warned about it. And the guy shoots the dog, even though the dog wasn't doing any harm. He just didn't want him trespassing on his land. And he gets sued for $500, which was a lot of money back then. He sues the guy for $500, the kid, for he goes into him and states his case, and he's like, we'll sue him for $500. And everybody's making fun because that dog's a mutt, mixed breed, not even worth the fleas he's got on him. But he was out there isolated with only his mom and dad, and so that was his only friend. And at the end of the summation of the trial, he gives this great oratory thing about, if you're shivering in the cold, the dog will be there for you. If you're, all these things that dogs do for everybody. He's man's best friend. And everybody, even the prosecutor, are crying, true story. It's a great one. I'm going to have to find the episode so you can watch it, because I don't think I've seen that. Your heartstrings and you feel for him. It's like, he said, you're lucky we didn't sue you for $5,000 instead of 500, because all the jurors were in tears, when he got finished talking about how faithful a dog is. Even though your whole family might leave you, that dog's going to stick with you, and that does sum up a good dog, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. I've had one or two that wouldn't stick with you, but they're not all great, but mostly they.
Most dogs. I mean,
we're waiting on
if
him to
you
be
raise them
here. I
right.
also invited Lack because he's on the drawn-in tier and he'll be in future campaigns because he's become a part. Wonder Twin Powers activate permanent member of the Shadowhawk.
I can't reach it.
You can't reach. How about like that? There was only two of them anyway, but become a permanent member of the Momentum universe. He's going to be a tracker, a scout, a ladies' man. I came up with the ladies' man thought like yesterday or something.
Well, I only want to be semi-permanent. At some point, I want to be horrifically killed.
Right. You'll have a death like James T. Kirk where you fall to your death.
I want a memorable, like, dismembering or something, something.
Memory. Okay. Yeah.
Understandable. Not me. I'm going to live forever.
I get it. I see both sides of the coin, but I think it'd just be so cool to get killed in a comic book.
I don't think I introduced him, but sorry for the confusion there. Mutts are great because they're generally smarter dogs, the ones that I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the
Yeah, you
smartest
usually
dogs
get,
I've had are mutt.
yeah, you get a mix of the better qualities of the pure breeds. A lot of times, pure breeds can be a little sketchy. You know, they have because they've been selectively bred for so long. There was a lot of inbreeding at the beginning of all that.
I don't think you have a pet now, do you, Lack?
No, I just have my wild fish that me and my son caught a few years ago.
What kind of fish?
I've been dog shopping though for
Was
my
it a trout or
and
something?
my wife. What's that?
I said, was it a trout or something? What kind of fish did you?
No, they're just some minnows. I think one is one. I have two different types. The one are called Eastern mosquito fish, and then the other ones I believe are a type of creek chub. I thought they were something else for a while, but then they kind of grew and they changed.
Yeah, they kind of.
That must have been a whopper on the line, huh? A minnow? Oh God!
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I caught him with a fish trap. I caught him with a fish trap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
I raised piranhas for a while, so that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just have a small, like 15. I think it's
now they just call him Stubby.
Yeah. 15,
yeah. And I got no fingers left.
Yeah, the piranhas were rough, huh?
I got a hook.
I don't know why I kept trying to pet them.
Not too quick of a learner there, huh?
Yeah,
the fifth time.
Got a high tolerance for pain, and I'm a slow learner. Yeah,
yeah, dangerous combination.
Oh my God. So what? You still giving some
I had to get a pair of wings
to Alaska, or is that kind of a non sequitur? You're just kind of chilling right now and trying to figure out what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm looking for some jobs that will keep me around, so I don't have to leave the Cubs for 16 weeks at a minimum.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
Is that even doable for you?
What's that?
Is that even doable for you? You got somebody that'll watch them in the meantime?
Well, me and their mom are not together, right? So we have a custody thing. So I really just miss out. They just stay with their mom.
Oh, do they?
Okay. Right.
Which they, I only see them on the weekends and during the summer.
Well, yeah, but
week to week.
And here's the bad part, right? Is there some birthdays? There's probably some holidays that fall into those 16 weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks to have to be gone. I get it.
I have to ask you, and I already know the answer, Lack. Have you ever swallowed your tobacco juice?
Oh yeah.
Look at that big grin.
Many times.
Oh
many
God.
Times.
Multiple times. Yeah.
We used to.
I kind of like
purposely
it.
Drink it for money. We used to somebody say, "Oh, I bet you couldn't take a drink of that for $20," and you say, there you go.
Oh God, no, dude, you got an iron stomach, man. Yeah.
Well, I don't do it anymore because it's definitely it definitely
that's a good part.
It's not good. You know what I mean?
Sorry about that.
You can really tell now.
Somebody clipped it.
We were in I think 8th grade, and we snowed in. We couldn't get outside for break or anything, right? So any of the smokers in the group, couldn't smoke. So we're all up there with my buddy had a can of Skull chewing tobacco. I'd never tried chewing tobacco before. A bunch of these other guys never had either, but whatever. It's like this dude he was a country boy, so I pass it around. We all got a little pinch of Skull. For some reason, somebody was doing something stupid. We got the attention of one of the teachers. They come up there and smell something weird. Everybody else spits their shit out and gets rid of it. This one dude fucking he doesn't know what to do, so he just grins and swallows this shit. Mm-hmm. And within 30 seconds, dude, he's puking all over the place. So he took one for the team. Nobody else went down that day.
Oh yeah.
All right, I looked at the notes. They needed a special time to get everybody here, so it's at 8 o'clock. That's
8 p.m.
supposed to be 8 p.m. So our time.
All
So
right. Well, I guess we got to come back and do a special 4 o'clock at 8 o'clock.
something.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
up to you, brother. I'll be here. It's Saturday. I'm good.
Right. Well, I just figured that out. So Lack is our special guest. So I'll change
Hey,
the.
Woohoo.
That's right.
how about that?
Either
So,
that or we
like, what's
go
your comic
or
book
we go
and what
long.
exactly do
Go
you
really
do
long.
about
I don't
that?
think I can do that.
Stretch it out. Stretch it out. What was that,
Stretch it
Chad?
out.
What'd you?
Yeah. Marathon
I
stream.
said, so, like, what exactly is your comic book and what do you do? Are you the writer, the artist? Or... I'm
I'm
just
I'm
fucking.
I'm the muse.
Where, dude, you know what? That might actually make a pretty cool comic book, though. Is like, because you were like building those ice roads and stuff, right? Like,
Oh
that
yeah.
the truckers do.
Hmm.
That's got to be a pretty fucking crazy job, my friend.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I loved it.
No,
I
there's
loved
not
it.
an
There were so
auction
many
at
people I
8
worked with.
that I know of. I don't know where
What's
he gets
that?
that. No, we're gonna have Shadow Mare Comics on at 8.
Oh, okay. At 8.
Yes, no auction. No, nobody said auction.
Yeah, I don't know where he got it.
Although I did, I heard something about an auction from somebody the other day, but I don't think it was
Is
right
that a
away.
little like Skull 10 that he's talking about? That's $27.
Does he must live in Canada, huh? Is that a Canadian?
He lives in
Good
Canada.
Lord,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Well,
either
the
that or
last
Chicago, dude. I'll
the
tell you
last
what, it's like
time
14.
the last time I was in Canada, okay, so in America you get 30 grams. I think that's what this is, right? 30. Yeah, you get 30 grams in the United States. And the last time I used to drive to Alaska quite a bit. But in Canada, their cans are 15 grams.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
shit!
And
That's
they
not
they
much at all.
were a they were a and that this has been a few years, so it certainly wasn't $27, but it was way more
Uh-huh.
for half as much.
Why?
You know,
Why?
and I
Do
thought,
they
good
export
God.
that from America?
Yeah,
Hey,
they
Peter.
get their own special cans and everything.
Wow, that's
Crazy.
weird.
Okay.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what. I'm 30 miles southeast of Chicago, which is the closest like big metropolitan place near me, right? Because I'm in Northwest Indiana. But I pay $4.50 for a pack of smokes here.
It's
If I'm
more
in the
expensive
city,
down here.
a pack of cigarettes is minimum $14 for the
Wow.
cheapest generic. It's like,
Wow.
if you want
Wow.
if you want to pack them, if you want to pack a Marlboro Reds or whatever, it's like $17.99, dude. It's $20 with tax.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
It's
crazy.
insane.
And
Huh.
eggs are $30.
Chicago.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, well, I guess. I don't know. Eggs are still pretty cheap where I'm at.
Well,
Nah,
eggs
eggs
up
are
in
good
New
here,
York,
man.
Dana said were $10 a dozen. They're like almost $6 down here in Arkansas,
Oh.
which is crazy.
Okay, well we did talk about this the other day. Before
Yes, we
Biden
did.
left office, he killed 100 million chickens because of avian flu, whether they had it or not.
Suspected avian flu.
No, he ordered them killed, whether they
Yeah.
had it or not.
Whether they had it
And
or
then
not, right?
people within 7 days of Trump taking office are going, look at the prices of eggs. It's got nothing to do with Trump.
Right. Yeah, it has nothing to do. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but most people don't. They only they just cite the narrative as it fits them.
Well, I mean,
Isn't
those
that
people
what
are
they
too dumb
do?
to pay attention.
They create the problem, then they complain about the problem that you're not fixing it.
What they create the narrative and then they make a problem that didn't exist. You know.
Well, all the more reason to raise quail instead of chickens, because I think quail are one of the few that are impervious to most. I know they're impervious to most
Quail
all.
eggs are that big. What the hell?
Well, but a quail does lay an egg every day, whereas a chicken will only lay an egg every couple days if they are in peak condition. There's plenty of chickens out there that aren't laying an egg even every 2 days.
$9
the
a
really
dozen
crazy,
in Texas, in Plano,
the
Texas.
crazy thing
$9
is too, is pigeons lay eggs pretty much like 5 or 6 a week. per pigeon hen, and it's basically the same as a quail egg. So if you had a little pigeon hut with about 100 pigeons in there, mostly female, you would have a butt ton of little pigeon eggs every week.
Quail are
Global
also
warming caused by chicken farts. Exactly.
yeah, exactly. That's right. The
I'm trying to get Peter
I
on the
encourage
show.
global warming. I live in the Midwest. Fuck this cold.
a quail, you can still, the restaurants and sushi places will serve you raw quail eggs because the quail does not have the bacteria to give you salmonella. Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. That's
see,
why you
well,
can
you know
still.
the crazy thing too is the only reason that chicken eggs will give you salmonella or whatever is because they're processed and washed and everything. If you leave them fresh out of the hen, you don't refrigerate them, you just put them right into a carton and stuff. They will stay fresh for up to 3 months without
And you
any.
don't have to put them in the refrigerator. You can put them in a bowl on your table.
Mm-hmm.
You can just put them in a carton and put them on your shelf.
Now,
It,
do
it,
wash when you get ready to eat them. Do wash the shells because they
you
could have
yeah, you
chicken
gotta wash
poop
them.
on them.
Yeah,
You wash them right before you cook. But
Yeah.
if you just leave them with that natural coating on there, they're sealed up like perfectly by nature.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say 90% of the eggs we eat here are all from the farm. My wife's family has people that have chickens, and every time we go over, and I say 90% because every once in a while I'll be out of eggs and I want some eggs, so I'll go to the
Right,
store
you buy
and just
some.
buy
Yeah.
some. But yeah, we
But
just leave
yeah,
them on the table, wash them right before we want to crack them open.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal. But I
Now
am partial.
you got some Florida cowboys down there. There are cowboys in
Oh yeah.
sort of mid Florida, aren't there? With
Yeah.
ranches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
does they have a little cattle zone kind of in the middle of Florida somewhere?
yeah, down south of me is probably even a much bigger cowboy country than here.
Hmm.
Yeah. What do they call them? The crackers. That's where the word
The
cracker
cracker?
comes from, right? That's
Well,
the
hey,
that's the
I take no offense then. I mean, cowboys are tough motherfuckers with a tough
Yeah.
fucking job.
Yeah, the original Florida cowboy, they didn't use a lasso. They used a whip, like a vaquero.
Oh, so
Like
that's where they got the cracker. I got
Mhm. Yeah, so they called them crackers.
I may have asked you this before, Lack, but were you born in Florida?
No, no, I was born in Mississippi.
Did you grow up in Mississippi?
Nope, nope. I spent I might have spent my first year as a baby there, maybe.
Right.
And then we lived in. Then my family moved to Colorado till I was about 4, almost 5, and then we moved to Alaska. We moved to
Oh
Oh
Alaska
wow.
wow. Oh
when
wow.
I think I was 5 when we moved
So
to Alaska.
that's how you get into all the ice road thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was raised from 5 years old to my whole life in Alaska.
Oh
I
wow, that's
barely
awesome,
remember. I
man.
barely remember Colorado. I remember a few things about it, but
Yeah.
not really.
Hmm.
But yeah, Alaska's always been what I considered my home.
Well, I mean, is there, I mean, you can't drive into a neighboring state. Did you ever drive down into the upper part of Canada, that's surrounding
Oh
Alaska?
yeah, I've driven. When my folks moved from Alaska to Florida years ago. I think I was like 16 or 17, but I told them I'm not going. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think when I was 17, I drove down here and visited, to visit them. And then since then, I've driven from Florida to Alaska, or vice versa, 7 or 8 times. So I've done the whole United, almost as far as you can go,
Yeah.
7 or 8 times in my life.
Is
And
there a big difference? There's probably not a big difference in Alaska's. I know you got frozen tundra up there in Canada and stuff like that, but I mean, is in the landscape, I guess, in the
oh yeah,
topography, is there a big difference in between
major,
Canada?
major,
Major. Well,
major.
why? Why isn't Alaska just an extension of Canada?
There's
I mean,
when you're in most of the and of course I haven't been all over in Canada and everywhere, but most of Canada that you drive through next to Alaska is all in the mountains, the northern Rocky Mountains. And then when you get to Alaska, the Rocky Mountains turn into the Alaska Range, which is kind of in the southern part of Alaska. And then anything north of the Alaska Range and south of the Brooks Range, which is quite a bit up north, is a lot of swamp. It's Alaska has got a lot of swamp in it and quicksand and floating marsh, and whereas, like I said, most of northwest Canada is really just mountains, and then you come down into the prairie. I would say, maybe about halfway down, I guess. You get into the big Grand Prairie, like like Iowa and Kansas and part of the Dakotas and stuff like that.
I saw a glacier slick that is like, I don't know if you've encountered that, probably have, but
Say that again.
Where a glacier, I'm calling it a glacier slick, but it's kind of firm on top, but once you get in it, it's like holds on like quicksand.
Oh yeah, yeah, we have a lot of that up there.
You got your camera on you, Shadowhawk. So if you don't want to, there we go.
Actually,
there we go.
Whoa! I popped back in without even knowing. That was crazy.
Well, I popped you back in, but not till you got your camera on. We got a question by
Bud Nugget.
American Board. I don't know if you answered that or not, but do you know what?
Oh yeah, I know. I lived near Boulder on a place called Sugarloaf Mountain.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Which used to be, in the late '80s, it was nothing. But yeah, we used to live on
was that
Sugarloaf
Mountain. Were you near Broomfield? A little bit. What was that?
I'm not sure where Bloomfield is, but Sugarloaf Mountain is up the canyon from Boulder, like in a western.
That's what I'm thinking. Like Red Rocks, where the concert venue and stuff is.
Oh yeah, I'm not familiar with
just outside of Boulder.
Okay, yeah. I remember we used to go to Boulder and look at Mork and Mindy's house, right? Because Mork's house is in is in Boulder. I remember that as a kid. My mom saying, "Look, there's Mork's house," and I thought, "Oh wow, that's so amazing," And
can we go see him? Can we go see him?
Yeah, I absolutely wanted to. I think I understood that it was a show. I think I understood that. And then before we moved to Alaska, we had lived in a place called Fort Morgan, which is it's the flat prairie, dark dirt area of Colorado. I think it's
western Colorado.
Western, north, central, west, something. I don't know if I've ever at it on a map, but that was an odd place to live. I remember that, But and we were there.
Yeah, Red Rock Theater is awesome.
What did they call it? The Black Tiger Fire of what was that? 80? Gosh, I don't remember what year that is. But that was one of the biggest forest fires that they'd ever had. My dad was a wilderness firefighter, but that fire, they got it stopped right before it hit our house on top of the mountain. They'd been able to cut a fire line and stuff, but I remember that was a horrific disaster,
Yeah, dude, I went through all the training and everything, and got certified to be a wildland firefighter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, while I was working for county parks, but there was no fucking way I was gonna go do that shit. Dude.
Oh yeah.
I knew a couple of guys. They were telling me stories of the shit that they did, like over the years.
Yeah, I had my
you make good money.
And I fought 3 or 4 fires. The Toklat in Alaska, I had my red card, and everybody in the village did. It was an easy way to make good money.
You get a nice little bonus, right?
Great money. And I worked like 3 fires as a red card as a firefighter, and then one
Like
day.
big ones, dude, or I mean, like
Say that again.
very- like big forest fires, or like fairly
Oh yeah.
manageable.
No, big giant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
See, dude, I
fires.
never wanted to.
Yeah, the fires in Alaska. They let them get real big. The Bureau of Land Management is kind of
Yeah, yeah.
they kind of allow shit to get out of hand. And
Let's try something. Let's try it without the earphones and see the difference. Shadow.
Are you getting some kind of? I
I'm
didn't see
just
anybody
saying, let's
complain yet.
try it as a comparison with and without, because now we know what it is with. Let's try it
All right,
without.
well, let me try turning things off real quick and see what we can do.
Okay. Have you trapped any lack?
oh yeah, yeah. When I was a kid with my granddad, I did a lot of trapping.
Yeah. Well, for
trapping,
what? Muskrat, beaver, what?
Muskrat, beaver, wolf, wolverine, marten. Marten was a big one because it was one of the easier things to trap where you got good money
Martin's
for.
like an
Wolverine, how
overgrown
dare you?
hedgehog or like a prairie dog, right?
Marten is kind of like a mink or a ferret.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But they live in the trees.
It's a rodent, isn't it? I mean, it's got
Yeah.
buck teeth.
No,
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
rodents.
I mean, I don't know what
If
technically a
they've
rodent.
got buck teeth, they're a rodent.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not a rodent. It's like a weasel.
Yeah,
Oh, like a
yeah,
weasel.
weasels,
It's
ferrets,
inside the
they're all
shell.
Are
rodents.
those all
That, yeah,
rodents? Okay, I didn't. I
yeah.
wasn't.
I
But yeah,
we used to have mink here in India. We still do, but they're rare now. You can't trap them no more. But when I was a kid, you used to be able to trap mink and
yeah, we used to trap a lot of marten, and we have a thing called an ermine, which a lot of people would consider it. A lot of people, if you saw it, they'd say, "Oh, that's a weasel." But an ermine changes colors. So
hmm
in the
yeah. All those are
wintertime,
the
it
ones that
turns
like
white.
get white in the wintertime,
Yeah, they
right?
get
And
white
then
with a little black tail, and
yeah,
those were all fairly easy to trap, and they brought good prices. And when I was real young, wolf trapping, and wolverine was the number one because the price of it was so much higher.
hey Rex, I don't know is the sound better now? Are you happier with it? Whatever, but I can hardly hear you guys. Can you turn up your volume or something?
I can.
Because I'm having a hard time hearing you guys now.
All right. How's this?
What's that?
How is this? Or you
It's
need it
still the
loud?
same.
Okay. How's that?
You're
that?
whispering. All right, I'm gonna pop out and come back in and try it that way.
It
Okay.
definitely sounds better on our end. Yeah, we used to do a lot
I
of
got it all the
trapping,
way turned up.
and beaver was my granddad was probably like the beaver man.
Mhm.
That was the. But we ate a lot of beaver, and we sold the meat to dog mushers, and it's definitely something that you have a hard time.
Well,
Trying to decimate beaver population.
weasels or ferrets, they've got the sharp incising teeth. I
Yeah,
think Shadow had said, yeah, they're rodents. They're not rodents.
yeah, I didn't think they were.
Rodents are with buck teeth. Anything with buck teeth. That's from your chimeras that are, with the web feet, huge, like bear-like in Africa, all the way down to a mole or shrew. Anything,
Okay.
a rabbit, a beaver, anything with a buck tooth. And there's 2,400 varieties of rodentia out there in the rodentia family. And that is the majority of the wild kingdom. So when they say it's a rat race out there, it generally is.
It generally is. Yeah,
Most wildlife is rodent related.
I could see that.
Yep.
Okay. When I lived in Arizona for a little while and worked out there, and I remember people saying that the javelinas are rodents, right? They're related to rabbits and beavers more so than pigs, which I said okay, but they certainly don't taste as good as a wild pig, but they look a lot like them,
Yeah. Now, how do you get gaminess out of your? Does it vary? Like if you had a possum, that's very greasy. I mean, would it matter? There's different ways you get gaminess out of meat, right?
Yeah.
Depends on
The first and most important way is to kill the animal cleanly, because the buildup of adrenaline, if you make a bad shot and it runs away and you're chasing,
it toughens up the meat, right?
that's the first thing that'll make it not taste good. It'll make it tough, but it also has a tainted taste, And some animals you want to remove the glands, especially like even if it's a moose or a deer, if they're in the rut, you want to remove the scent glands that are usually like behind the rear leg.
Pungent.
Yeah, you want to remove that as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
The other, like if you have,
Do you just leave that out in the wild for wild animals to eat?
Unless you're going to use it, you can, like for a beaver or something, we would always collect the scent glands and stuff so we could use it for trapping more beaver, and use it as a cover scent or as like in a bait, kind of a bait situation. Sometimes you might use it just to cover your own human smell, but you also might use it as a lure.
All right, so you guys like it better without the headphones. All right.
Oh, that sounds so professional. It's scary.
See, dude, the problem is it only lasts for about like 40 minutes, and then I start to get echo because of my stupid phone and the way StreamYard works together. If I got headphones on, then it doesn't do that. So, like, normally, like, me and Rex go about 2 hours, maybe 3, depending on, if things are going well. And it's like, when I got to pop out and restart and come back in 4 or 5 times during a stream, it gets old after a while, dude. It's like, fuck.
What kind of phone do you have?
It's a Samsung Android. It's A3. I just bought it like a year and a half ago.
I have to apologize, Shadowhawk. I wanted to sleep during your show. I had to get some sleep. It's like
I didn't do a show today, guys. I was working on my car. No, I
didn't miss anything. Yes, didn't miss.
I threw out an announcement this morning. I just had so much shit to do today. So.
Okay. Hey, Carrie.
Thank God it turned out the weather report was wrong because it was supposed to be like 20 degrees this morning with 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh.
And I had to go out
ladies, man. I told you.
Yeah, I had to go out to a pick apart and pull a part off a car so I could fix my car. And dude, by the time I got there, it started snowing. It's just like the worst Saturday morning ever. But I got what I needed. I got all my shit done, and got home. I probably got home in time to do the show, but I was just so frazzled by that time. I was glad.
Well, I'm glad I didn't miss it. I felt guilty, but I had to get some rest because even after I and Omer worked on it, and we've been working on it like the first day out, or well, that wasn't even the first day, but we did like where we really made some progress on the campaign was 6 hour long, 5 to 6 hour long, and then we came back and did some yesterday, and
well, it actually kind of worked out pretty good because I'm doing the alphabetical order, right, for the high noon. And it just luck of the draw. The next one I pulled out was Beyond the Stars, number 3 from our buddy Roland. So I want to send him a heads up before I do the review. So if he wants to come on or watch or what have you.
Now, Lack, do you eat nuts and berries and stuff while you're out there?
Oh yeah, all I can find.
Yeah.
All I can find. Yeah.
I mean, that's natural, right?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. When I first bought this house where I'm at now, I went all over the area digging up what they call dewberries, and
the hell's a dewberry?
A dewberry. It's like a blackberry. A lot of people confuse it with a blackberry, but a dewberry grows on a vine instead of a bush.
So it looks like a blackberry.
When you said digging up, I was thinking like roots and shit. Like
no, that's what I was doing. I was digging up. I've dug up. There's an old train track, which for whatever reason is an excellent place to find these dewberries. I guess like a lot of berries, raspberries and stuff, fence lines and stuff.
Huh?
But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
live all over, and I dig up the plants, and then I brought them to my house and
Oh, I got you. And then you just
plant them everywhere.
transplanted them back home. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they're pretty hardy, and they're just the best tasting. I think they're the best tasting beer, and that's not something that we have in Alaska. So it was when I moved here.
Do
It was
they
a
have a
whole
lot of
new world.
seeds like a raspberry?
Not quite as many.
Okay.
Not quite as many, and they're real flat, like super.
Yeah, I mean,
So they
I
don't.
do. Raspberry seeds have never bothered me. When I was a kid, like everybody had a raspberry bush in the backyard. You
Yeah.
know, there was strawberries grow. We used to just run the neighborhood, and you get, hungry, you just stop by a neighbor's yard and grab a few raspberries or strawberries. Nobody cared back then, but
Yeah.
it was a different time.
Yeah.
You probably get shot nowadays.
Well, yeah. Who knows? Yeah, my wife and I, we go dewberry picking every spring when they come out, and
Yeah,
there's a few places. There's one place I go to it's a little less than an hour away, but it's you can fill up a 5-gallon bucket in an afternoon, and no one goes out there.
right.
I don't know why. I mean, maybe just it's in a rural area, so maybe people just have plenty
Yeah,
of places to pick them instead of there. But
right, yeah, without traveling that far. Yeah.
yeah, but man, yeah, I love and I just there's a mulberry tree down from my house that I've been eating off of for a couple of years, and
Now
Mulberries are
I'm told
great
that
until,
mulberries have worms, so you have to kind of deworm the mulberries. Is
I
that
mean,
correct?
I don't know about all
I don't
that.
know. I
I've
mean,
never had an issue.
as long as they're ripe, I eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a
Now
few
I went
years,
out to a mulberry tree.
uh-huh.
I was being babysat. We were younger. I don't know, 4 or 5. I don't know. And don't go out to that mulberry tree. Well, we did, and it stained my feet purple for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, we
We
used
didn't
to
wash
do.
off.
Yeah.
We used to have fights with them. There were so many mulberry trees, and they were just everywhere. We would like grab handfuls and start throwing them at each other, and you hit your buddy in the side of the face. He's got this big purple stain the whole day,
Mhm.
until he goes home, takes a bath.
Yeah, they keep staying for a
It's a
while.
birthmark. It's a birthmark.
But it's absolutely worth it because that is an excellent tasting. That's an excellent tasting berry.
Oh, dude, yeah, they're very good. The
I
only
went
problem I
down
got with mulberry trees is when they get old, they stop making fruit,
Yeah.
and their branches are very weak and they drop a lot. And I've got a mulberry tree in my front yard in the house I'm in right now, and one right in my backyard, and they're both probably 50 or 60 years old. There's no fruit, and
No,
every time the wind blows, they're dropping branches on my fucking house.
yeah, you got to get stuff down before it. I just took down 2 water oaks next to my house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they're
Rex had the same problem. What was that, a pine tree, Rex, that came down on you?
Ash tree, an old
Ash.
ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately,
Yeah.
it came the more weight bearing branch came down on top of my brickwork of the fireplace, and so I had to get the top fixed. But a smaller branch came on the roof, but it didn't hurt, So the bigger branch was actually
it didn't do any major structural.
Well, $1,800 to get that fixed, but
yeah, dude. But if it would have been structural damage, like on the main rope line of your house or something, it would have been way more. $1,800.
Gooseberry pie.
Gooseberry.
Ooh, gooseberries are good. I mean, boysenberries, dude. They're poor. They're what? My brain is not. They're not poisonous. They're fucking sour. But they're so
is a
good,
gooseberry
man.
the same as is that what people call them?
They're tart. Would you say they're tart?
They're tart, yes.
And we had boysenberries in Alaska.
Yeah, I love that stuff, dude. But I can hardly ever find.
Big, aren't they? Full grown?
Not where I was.
No,
maybe smaller.
Like about a raspberry or blackberry size.
No, I think they were like little, right? Like gooseberries almost.
Almost like a pea, like a large.
Yeah, like the size of a pea or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they got a ton of flavor, dude. Those little fuckers.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're
I
so
finally
good.
got some mulberry trees growing at my place because I would go down the tree down the road. It's overhangs part of a sidewalk, so
Mm-hmm.
the
Hmm.
berries would fall on the sidewalk, and then all the bicycles and everybody would crush them.
Right.
And then I went out there with a couple 5-gallon buckets and a flat shovel, and I started just scooped them all up, scooped everything up off the sidewalk because it's easy to put them in buckets. And then I came back and Johnny Appleseeded most of my yard just to see.
Oh no shit! Just to see if they.
And
Come up.
I got one in the front and one in the back, and a small one that might not make it on the side. But
That's awesome, bro. Yeah.
and it's pretty, And I got berries on this year. The trees are only maybe a year and a half, 2 years old, and I got a little bit of berries on two of them. The ones in the front
Yeah,
and the
that's
back.
the cool. That's the good thing about mulberries is they start bearing fruit really fast.
Yeah, I didn't know that
It,
about them,
they-
but yeah.
yeah, I think they have like about like a 15 or a 17-year fruit cycle. So
All
they
right.
start like really young, but like once they hit not even 20, then you're hardly gonna get any fruit anymore.
Strawberry rhubarb pie. Do you like rhubarb black? I bet you do.
Oh, I love rhubarb. Is like the #1 Alaskan crop.
Yeah, rhubarb is
Not
awesome,
crop,
dude.
but what people, what normal people grow in their garden. Yeah, rhubarb is.
Okay,
Hmm.
so you must know more about rhubarb than I do because I discovered it like when I was 11 or 12, something like
Is
that.
that a long? Is that a long
It,
turnip?
it, it looks like a piece of celery, Rex, but it's
Yeah.
red or like
Right.
maroon.
It's red on the
Know what it
bottom.
looks like, but what's it taste like?
It
A turnip?
and it's got
A turnip?
no, it's got like a sour kind of.
It's
Yeah.
almost like a green, almost like a green apple.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of.
You know,
Maybe like a red raspberry, almost sourness to it.
yeah.
Not like super sour, but just a little tang. Um, but supposedly, oh,
That's
that disappeared.
that's right, Eric. Never rub another man's rhubarb.
But supposedly, if you eat too much of it, it can fuck you up if you eat it raw. You got it. That's why they
Oh,
make
really?
rhubarb pie. Yeah, you're not
Like define F you up.
like it'll screw your stomach up. There's something in it
Oh,
that's
okay. Okay. I could see that. Yeah.
yeah. Because like
It's
we used to, and like I said, I'd never had it until I was like 11 or 12, and I was hanging out at my buddy's house, and his mom was an old redneck, from down south, and they had moved up to Indiana, and but they had a big rhubarb plant in the backyard. And I was like, yeah, I want to try it. Sure. And she brought out a big old bowl of sugar and she gave, each of us one little stalk of this shit. And you're just supposed to
mhm.
dip it in the sugar and then kind of chew on it, but not like really swallow it. You don't want to like swallow the fibers. You just want to chew. You know how celery has all those long uh, fibers in there?
Sorry about that.
Right.
I had a phone call.
So you just kind of like want to chew on it until all the flesh disappears and the fibers are still there.
Do
And then
that,
you
Lack. Do that.
pull the little strings off, and then But apparently, now, did you ever hear this? Like,
Now
that's
now if you
awesome.
only do one,
It's just
Now,
one.
have you ever
that'll
heard
come
like
up.
that if you eat too much
Yeah,
raw rhubarb
but if
that
you do that,
it's bad for your tummy or something, dude? It'll fuck you up.
Um, I think I've heard that.
I mean, I don't know. I
But
never
I've
tried to
never.
eat.
I don't know how much you'd have to eat, And of course, the leaves are poisonous.
Okay,
mhm,
maybe it's that. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
It's
the
the
rhubarb.
leaves, not.
When you harvest like a rhubarb plant, when it grows, it's kind of like a gosh, what is it like? It's almost like a
potato.
no, it's more like a
Is it
palmetto bush
is
or
that
Mm,
overground or is it underground like a
no,
yeah,
potato?
it's above ground. It's
It's
a
above ground.
kind of like an
it's a
agave, almost like a cactus type of thing.
yeah. Have you ever
Right?
seen what do they call them? Elephant ears that grow
Yeah.
in the south.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
They're kind of like that, but they don't have as long a stem. So they have a stem that comes out of the ground, and then these big, huge elephant ear type leaves,
Yeah.
and then the bases of the stem are red, and you're not supposed to eat anything above the red, right? So
okay, that's what it Nothing
Yeah, it's
above the
just
red.
the red part of the stem. And I don't know if maybe the green part of the stem is just not as good, but I know the leaves are poisonous. And
I
I
just
don't know.
remember my buddy's mom telling me, "Here, here's a great snack for you," and then gave us a little bowl of sugar, and we're all chewing on this shit. And then my friends were like, "You know, this is poisonous, right?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?" I didn't know. I didn't-
yeah, the
why?
leaves are poisonous. Now I don't know
Why am
how
I
much.
not dying?
I don't
That's
know
good.
how poisonous there are. How the how poison. I don't know how much you'd have to eat if it would kill you
Yeah, I
or
don't. Yeah,
just
I mean, you
sick.
might have to eat like a metric ton of it to,
Yeah, but they always told us. They said the
Back it
leaves are
up.
poisonous.
Beep.
Yeah, yeah. None of us
pull
ever
that
tried
up to the
it.
Throw
door
it
for
down
me,
my
boy.
gullet.
Well, and that's like an amanito mushroom. Everybody. The consensus is that they are poisonous, right? But all my native family, especially like the older ones, like they ate it all the time to have a trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
dude,
people would
I
different guys would
love
prepare them
mushrooms.
different ways. But I definitely know that they're not poisonous because I've seen too many too many people eat them.
Bro,
Well,
And
you know what?
at one
You just
time in
reminded
America,
me.
it
I've
was
got a
considered
lovely
against
little.
law to eat tomatoes because they were considered poisonous.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Which
yeah,
blows me
tomatoes.
away.
People
I
thought
think it was like
tomatoes would kill you.
I think it
Mhm.
was 1850s or something. This one guy got a whole thing of tomatoes and went up to a Capitol steps or something and started eating them, didn't die. And that was, I mean, that's the urban legend. I don't know if it's true
Mhm.
or not, but I find it hard to believe that out of
But
all the
thanks, Lex.
foods,
You reminded me that I got a tasty little snacky in my
I
freezer.
mean, how did we
That
know? I mean, I guess
I
God
might have to
directed
do
the
today.
first people, and it was just passed down by word of mouth what you could eat and what you couldn't eat. Because,
Mhm.
I mean, I mean, there's certain foods you can eat, but they had to be prepared a certain way.
Had to be
Otherwise,
prepared
they're
a certain
poison.
way. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether it's poke salad or certain types of
Tomatoes.
fish.
That would be posh to us.
Yeah.
Tomatoes. Oh,
There's a
pass
lot
me
of
the
different types of
tomato.
tomatoes too. There's a lot of different. I have some. What are they called? Oh gosh, I can't remember what they're called now. But they're an heirloom tomato from South
Oh,
America, and they're small and they have huge thorns on them. And
Mm,
I saw one growing one time,
yeah.
and I identified what it was, and then I learned all about it, and I thought it was really interesting. So then I started growing them around the edge of my yard because they have I guess people used to use them in there as a fence for their
Yeah,
gardens and
poke
stuff. Orange,
salad. Poke salad you
yeah.
can get out of the ditch.
right?
You know,
But you got to boil it 3 times.
you got to boil it 3 times, right?
Yeah.
It's here in Arkansas as too. It's kind of
Mhm.
a leafy
Okay.
green leaf that you can gather.
So poke is. I'm guessing like similar to uh
Collard
mu-
greens,
collard greens or mustard
stuff like
greens,
that.
something like that.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Dude,
you
I
got to
love
boil it 3 times.
mustard greens. Are fucking awesome, dude. I
But you
love
want to
those.
get the smaller leaves. You don't want to get the larger ones. They're not,
Okay.
they're kind of overgrown and
Well,
not
poke
tasty.
salad ain't it?
Yeah.
I've
Gatorade,
never had poke
Gatorade is great.
salad. It's been a part of my life all my life, but I just don't like vegetables. I don't like mustard greens. I don't like.
Dude,
I might down
I
some
will eat a
coleslaw on a
pound of
barbecue.
spinach with nothing else.
Ooh,
I guess.
here's an idea for you, Lack. We got this the other day. Uh, Brisket sloppy Joe.
No.
That
Yeah.
sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. That
Smoked
sounds
brisket.
pretty good. Can't beat
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Can't beat
Mhm.
that. I'm like you,
Yeah.
Shadow. I do like spinach, and I love me some collard greens.
With
Yeah,
a
dude. Oh,
fork. With a fork.
everybody thought I
Hey,
was
Scarlett.
weird in elementary school, dude, because I would go around and I would order fries, right, on spinach day.
Hmm.
And then I would just go sit at my table, and everybody that got stuck with spinach because they didn't order the fries. Because once the fries ran out, you just got whatever was left.
Oh
So
yeah.
there would be like 8 people sitting there with little bowls of spinach that they didn't want, and I'd be like, "I'll give you 2 fries for your spinach."
Give me some.
And I'd end up with a plate full.
Yeah, that's a dandelion. I was gonna say, at
Oh,
least in this country, the understanding, like what we were told as kids, goes against most natural thing. Right. Everybody remembers the Roundup commercial.
Dandelion, whatever is the whole plant is good for you. It's one of the best things you can eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the best things. And
Dude,
of
my
course,
grandma used to.
right, where we're
we
being
dump
told to kill
Roundup
it off.
on in this country.
Mm-hmm. Well, my
Yeah.
grandma used to back in the day. I remember she always. My grandpa was a bootlegger back in the late 20s and 30s, and but grandma used to make her own homemade dandelion wine. She loved it when the dandelions came out every spring. She'd be out there just fucking harvesting the shit out of them. But we had a wine press in the basement. We had the whole shop. So. Yeah, grandma and grandpa were cool as shit, dude. But they were both, old school Eastern European. They brought over all that, that knowledge and stuff of making booze and all that stuff with them. But yeah, grandpa he was making bathtub gin and vodka and shit back in the day.
I like sassafras tea. I once found a sassafras tree.
Bro, I've only had that like twice in my life, and it's amazingly good. Mm-hmm. I had it once at the Boy Scout Jamboree when I was a young man, and I went, to the Boy Scout Jamboree, the like 5-day camping fest thing. And then I went to a Ren fair when I was in my like middle 20s, 27, somewhere in there. And they had
sassafras tea. That's what we're talking about.
Dude, I love that stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I'm not sure if I've ever had it, or if I did, I don't remember.
I mean, it's like good. It's like the best Dr. Pepper you've ever had.
Coming on.
we need Doc here to confirm this, but I guarantee you, it's like the best Dr. Pepper that you've ever had. Only like
really
turned up to 11. Yeah.
What is the hardest beast you had to clean?
Oh, you know what the hardest is? I think is shark. Shark is extremely hard to skin.
Yeah, they're tough, aren't they?
Yeah, and after that, I would probably say, now I did not kill this animal. My uncles used to kill them all the time, but a trumpeter swan is really hard to clean. And you have to skin them. But of course, when I was a kid, they thought it would be funny to just tell me to pluck it, and so I went to pluck it, and you couldn't do it, and so I got the bright idea of wrapping the feather around my hand, and I pulled, and it cut me.
Yeah. Dude. Good.
They're super hard to. Now my relatives, they were Athabascan, and they could get away with shooting.
Now in Florida, Black, is it legal to hunt the sand cranes down there?
I don't even know if we get them, the sandhill cranes with the red.
Yeah, I don't know if they come that far south or not.
I don't think we see them over here. We used to hunt them quite a bit in Alaska, and
see, because like where I am here in the Midwest, it's illegal to hunt them.
Is it?
But you just get a little bit further south, like I think down to Mississippi and Kentucky.
Yeah, Louisiana, they get them.
Yeah, and you can hunt them bad boys. And apparently, I watched, was that Bizarre Foods with that little crazy bald dude, turned out to be a weirdo. But he went on a hunting trip with these guys, dude. And when you cut that thing open, it looks like beef. It doesn't look like a bird.
It's real dark. It's good though. Yeah, we used to hunt them a lot. Man, my brother Puff, he loved crane meat.
No, dude, I'm a huge fan of duck. I'll eat a whole 5-pound duck by myself. I mean, I will clean that corpse.
Yeah, bird is probably one of my favorite things. Whatever it is. I'm not a big fan of goose.
I like chicken, but I'll take a duck any day, bro. Oh.
As far as wild game, I think bird is probably, and they're some of the most fun things to hunt. You don't have to be.
Dude, I'll tell you, I'm sure.
Thing,
You've probably been teal hunting, right?
Oh yeah.
Those fucking things are hard to shoot, man.
Yeah.
They fly like F-16s. They're fucking crazy.
Yeah. 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 My native relatives like that. They would just slowly go down the creek in a canoe, and shoot
Yeah,
them
and just
on the water. That's how
yeah,
because when you're hungry, you don't you don't do all that sporting shit.
yeah. You don't want to go out there
They
with
don't
a
do all that.
dog and shit and flush them out, right? And they're
Yeah, they never wing shooting is like not that's not a native sport at all.
Now again, it really depends on the meat and the animal, right? On how to get the gaminess out, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
for sure, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And actually, some meat I prefer to keep the gaminess in, like
Yeah.
wild
Well,
duck
like
is
duck,
awesome.
I know my brother soaks it in salt water for one.
Oh really? Yeah.
I don't know. I love like
I
wild duck, like
I
teal
pluck them
and
and
uh,
that's
I
out.
mean, oh
And I love the skin. There's so many hunters today that just breast everything and I think it's because they're lazy. But of course, I was taught by my granddad and my
yeah,
dad.
yeah.
When they saw somebody breast something, they go, "Oh, look at these lazy cocksuckers," because
Dude,
skin
I was
real.
raised by an Eastern European grandma and grandpa as far as food goes, so it's nose to tail, man. I mean, we do the feet, we pickle the pig's feet. I don't eat them, but my grandma and my mom, dude, they would like once every couple of months they'd sit down and have this big old pickled pig's feet feast and just
Oh
hang
yeah.
out together, and it
when
would
I
gross me the fuck out, bro. I'd just be like, I'm out.
when I
Now
I
you
was a
said
kid,
tail. Have you ever had oxtail?
mm,
I don't think
bro,
I've
that's
ever had
awesome.
oxtail, but I've had some other tails.
I've had
Oxtail is
yeah.
awesome.
Have you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've had my share of tail, Rex.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I'm writing you in as a ladies' man.
When I was a kid, I was always fed pickled beaver feet, and when you're a
Pickle.
kid, when
So
you're a
you
kid,
were
you
on the
don't.
web long before anybody else.
Look,
He's setting us up for a joke here.
no, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's just when you're a kid, you are not given any of the good food, right? The good shit is saved for the hunters and the adults and maybe
Right.
some
You get the trash
prominent
meat. You get the
elders.
baloney.
You get the shit. But
Yeah.
my granddad, he wouldn't even cook them.
Have you had tongue? Have you had tongue?
I've had a lot of moose tongue, yeah, and moose nose.
Moose nose. Yeah.
You
Moose
just
nose.
got to know
Moose
how to
nose.
lure them
The
in.
old people would fight each other over the moose nose, and I never understood why because I never liked it. I thought
Is it like cartilage?
it's nothing but there's a thin layer of fat on it, but
If
it's and like how a moose's nose is so
A bulbous.
yeah, it's real big and it hangs.
Yeah.
Well,
Jimmy Durante.
yeah. Well, you cut it off and you butterfly it. And then sometimes I've seen people, they use a blowtorch and you just burn the hair off of it.
Yeah.
crisp it all up.
And it's not terribly bad, but the smell of all the burnt hair is man,
that's
as a
horrible.
kid, but when the first time an old person allows you to eat the moose nose, because it's kind of like it's like a chief's thing.
A rite of passage.
Yeah, and so you're supposed to be, oh wow, this is great.
Yeah.
But
what's it taste like? Is it cartilage fat? What?
Yeah, it tastes like burnt hair mostly. But if you can, the fat is there's just a minute bit of fat that's stuck to the cartilage, and a couple areas of the nose will have a little bit more than.
So I guess you're eating the sinuses and all.
Yeah, dude, it's horrible.
It's awful. I would
Now,
never.
see, when my family hunted moose tongue, and I know you've got a lot of native knowledge there, lad, but we did it the easy way. You would go out and you would find yourself a nice ripe raspberry bush, and you'd make yourself some jelly, and then you just slather it all over your crotch, and you wait outside until the moose comes up, and when he goes to lick you in the dick, you just shoot him right in the head.
Shoot it right in the head, yeah.
You got to bend down because those things are big. You don't want to get around one.
Yeah, we used to call them. Some of the old people, they used to cut down a birch tree because moose love birch leaves.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and
That's
they can
crazy.
smell it. You can even a person can smell
Does a
birch.
moose have
Right.
good smelling?
Oh,
Dude, look at their face.
I don't.
Have you
I don't
seen
know
the
what.
nose?
Yeah.
A big cabossus or whatever you want to call it doesn't, necessarily
Yeah.
mean you've
In
got.
I mean,
nature, that
I'm sure they
usually
do,
means
because
you have an
if you cut
exceptional
down
sense of
if you
smell.
cut down a couple big birch trees, and within 24 hours, every moose in the country will be over there eating.
Wow.
No shit. Moose
Yeah,
Wow, that's a good
party.
way to trap
Uh,
a moose, then, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
to bring
yeah.
the
A lot of
moose
the
to
old
you.
you
yeah, a
break
lot
out
of
a
the old people who couldn't
you break out
get
a
out as
keg
much.
of some moose head, and get the boys together.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
use it
that's how
for
the old
leather
people used to
tanning.
do it.
Yeah, the brain. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used to do a
That's
lot of.
I believe it though, because I mean, especially like when you saw certain trees down, like dude, I mean, especially you've cut down plenty of pine trees and firs. I'm sure you hit that, like the what they call it, the fatwood,
Yeah.
where the turpentine stuff is in there. Where you can just use it as lighter fluid, basically.
Mhm.
They're so aromatic when you cut them down. I mean, if we can smell them, animals can smell them for
Yeah.
miles.
And birch is that people make syrup out of it too. During certain parts of the year, the sap runs,
There's
and
a
we used
birch
to break
syrup,
it.
really?
Oh, and it's great. You can go to a birch tree in I think it's around maybe June, July.
It has little pustulars, little pimples on it that you can pop, don't they?
Yeah, they can get those, but most of the time, yeah, if you find those, you can pop them. They'll be like it's like a scab or like a burn. It has the fluid. But during June or July, you can take your pocket knife and just stab the tree just a little bit, and the
And they'll
juice will
run.
run out. And man,
Really?
I was a kid, like that was like our candy.
Tree
No.
liquor.
Oh,
Man,
dude.
Tree liquor.
Yeah,
we would cut
I
a little
mean,
hole in there, and we'd just get
Suck
on
that
there and
tree.
just that was so.
well, I mean, I've
That's one of my
tapped
favorite things.
actually, like tapped maple trees and stuff
Mhm.
here, and collected the syrup, and dude, it takes forever to like. You get all that sap, you get like 5 gallons of sap.
Scary.
You cook that shit down, you got one little bottle of
Yeah,
syrup.
one little bit. Yeah.
It's like, damn.
What's the most exotic thing you think you've eaten?
Exotic to me, or to maybe. I mean, I think
People,
pickled beaver feet would be pretty exotic to most people.
Yeah, that's pretty
dude, pickled
exotic.
beaver feet.
Yeah.
What's that? Say that, Shannon. Say that.
Beaver feet.
Yes, beaver feet.
Yeah, pickled beaver feet was what I
You
was.
ate those fuckers?
Yeah, well, that's what made me such a great. When I was 6 years old, I told my granddad. The first thing I said, "When can I have some of your Copenhagen?" And he said, "When you go shoot your own moose by yourself, you can have some of my Copenhagen." Right, and so
Okay.
it was probably the next morning. I got my rifle and immediately left. Right, and by the next morning, I'd shot my own moose, and I came back and I told my dad and my granddad, I said, "You need to come help me clean this moose." And they said, "Oh, you're full of shit," or whatever, And I
Right.
said, "No, my dad knew me well enough to know that I wasn't bullshitting him." And I took him out there and I said, "There you go. There he is." And I put my hand out to my granddad. I said, "Let me see that Copenhagen," and he gave me some. And, shit, I've been chewing Copenhagen pretty much ever since.
That's fucking awesome, bro.
Because they don't ID you in Alaska. If you go, when I was young, 7, 8, 10, if you went to a store and asked for Marlboro Reds, they'd say, "Let me see your ID." But if you went to the store and said, "I need a can of Copenhagen snuff," they would just pull it right off the wall. And they never.
Well, dude, I remember like when I grew up until I was probably early teenager, 13, 14. I could go down to my local little store, that was like 5, 6 blocks from our house, walk down there and buy a pack of smokes and just be like, I'm picking up a pack of smokes for my dad, man, Marlboro Reds. And they would just fucking hand them to me as long as I had the money. They didn't they didn't care. They didn't check you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, there
I
was a
tried that
time.
once and had 3 laser beams on me, and they say shoot to kill. So I don't
Shoot to kill.
Yeah. You have
Do
3
you,
seconds.
do you
Fly.
cheat like that? Do you use a laser scope?
No, I shoot open sight. I've been shooting open sight my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah, dude,
Did
that's
you
how I
ever
grew
kill
up with
anything
iron
illegal that
sights.
you can
Just,
tell us
you
about?
know.
No, not at
No.
all. Not at all.
Why don't I believe you?
Not at all. My grandfather, who was a Inupiaq Eskimo, he definitely had his run-ins with the with the fish and game. But being that he was, and he'd been arrested a few times, but nothing, once you get in front of a judge, being full-blooded Inupiaq Eskimo and an old man and a World War II vet and all that, there was no judge. There was no judge that would say that would.
Yeah, there was nobody gonna fuck with him.
Nobody's gonna touch that, but I know I had a God. I don't know what he was. Everybody is like your brother, but I think this guy was my cousin. I think technically, but he had shot some caribou, and
Caribou and elk's good, huh?
Oh, it's real good. Well, he shot it, had a collar on it,
Uh-oh.
Oh,
and of course the thing really, because everything, the season was, everything was pretty much legit. If you shoot something with a tag or a collar, you're really just supposed to turn it in.
Yeah, you just gotta report
you don't
it,
get
right?
to keep it, right?
Right, and it's most of the time it's not a big deal.
Because it could be a mistake. It could be a mistake, right?
Right. And
What? Yeah, but you know what? If you're fucking hungry, bro, and you got no food in the house.
Right. Well, he had brought this collar back, and my granddad said, "Well, you need to get rid of that." He said, tie it to a log, throw it in the river. Well, somehow, for whatever reason, he didn't do that. He threw it in the outhouse hole.
Oh fuck.
Oh crap.
And this wasn't way out where we lived, because I grew up 25 miles upriver from the village, and the village is only like 200 people, but the village was accessible to the world.
Yeah.
And so this cousin of mine, he threw it in the outhouse hole in the village, and all of a sudden, like a couple days later, there's this fish and game guy, and he has this big computer thing attached to his chest, and he has a radar dish.
Oh God!
And he's walking around, and like out the window. My grandmother said, they saw him out the window, and he's walking around. Oh, that caribou's around here somewhere, And of course, the guy, he got arrested and everything. There was no like long-term repercussions of that. Because again, once something like that comes in front of a judge, right? No judge is going to tell any type of indigenous person, "Oh, you can't."
Yeah. And again, dude, I mean, I feel like all that guy would have had to say was, "Look, my family was hungry, and I needed the meat."
Yeah, I think the season was open. He may not have had a hunting license, but again, being so much % indigenous, that probably
was kind of farmed in at that point.
Yeah,
he probably could have just called them and said, "Hey, I shot this caribou and had a collar on it." It probably. So
right, and you're not going to see.
But
you're not going to see the collar at 100 yards or so when you're 70 years old, dude. I mean, you're lucky. Exactly. You're lucky you still see the caribou. Come on, really? Just fuck.
Mm-hmm.
At this point,
I've always shot open sight. Now, so I have one rifle that I hunted with a couple years ago, and I thought it was my eyes, but it was like a new rifle. I shot.
Echoing again. I'll be back.
But one evening, a nice big deer had come out, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to take this deer." But I came down on the side, and it was still legal shooting light, but it was getting on the dark side. And I went to raise up, and all of a sudden I couldn't see, and I couldn't tell if I was looking at am I looking at the shoulder? Am I looking at the ass? And I kept having to put the rifle down and look, and I could see it clearly. Yeah. But then by the time I got down on the sights, everything, I thought it would move and everything. And I ended up putting my binoculars on top of my rifle and looking through the binoculars and looking through the sight and looking through the binoculars and then deciding, okay, I got it. And then I shot it. And after that, for a while, I thought, oh man, I might have to get a scope because I can't see in the darkness is good. Not in the darkness, but you know how hunting hours are, legal hunting hours are like 30 minutes before and after. So there's that nice blue when everything is blue, but you can still see. But yeah, I thought there for a while I was going to maybe have to get a scope, but I found out that it's mostly that sight. It's just not quite as big and prolific as some other guns that I had. Because this year I hunted with a different rifle that I'd been hunting with forever.
You're a big fisherman.
Me? No, it's not as fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid,
you don't like getting that big and fighting that thing.
It's not. I would much rather put out a net or a trap and go out about my business.
Yeah.
You know, my dad is a big fisherman, and he loves it. And so when I was a kid,
what's your favorite fish to eat?
Oh, favorite fish to eat.
See, you look like a catfish guy to me. But
no, I mean catfish is okay, but I'd have to say maybe halibut or pike is my favorite. Those are both really good fish, and they're they're real white. They're much whiter meat than a catfish.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would think that fresh seafood was abundant up there.
Oh yeah. Well, I live pretty far from the ocean.
Yeah.
I do love seafood. Don't get me wrong. I'll eat 6 dozen raw oysters right now. You know.
Well, that's why you're a sexual beast with the women.
It's one of the reasons. Yeah. It's one of the reasons.
Because that's supposed to be a thing, right? If you eat raw oysters, it's supposed to.
Oh, it definitely.
Sexual libido.
You definitely.
I mean, James Bond did it, right?
Yeah, you should definitely be prepared. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love caviar. My grandfather, that was his big. When he came back from World War II, he was one of the first people to sell Alaskan caviar to Japanese, back to the Japanese.
What, salmon? Was he doing salmon roe?
Yeah, salmon caviar.
Wow, bro, that's awesome.
But that was kind of what made his a lot of his money and stuff. You know.
How do you feel about sardines?
Oh, I love them.
Me too, bro. I love.
Eric says
I'm a canned fish maniac, dude.
I like it. Sardines and
pickled herring.
I like all that.
Anchovies. Oh, dude, I love anchovies with a nice buttered piece of bread. Oh.
I can't remember. There's a bigger sardine that you can buy. You know, like the King Oscars that we always grew up.
Yeah, there's I forget what the species is, but they're a little bit bigger.
I had a friend of mine make me a nice dinner over in Mississippi, and he's kind of like, I mean, we were drinking old fashions and absinthe, and he's kind of a higher society type.
Now wait a minute, absinthe.
Absinthe? Yeah, that green.
Absinthe?
That's
illegal, isn't it? Or they got a legal?
No,
I think it's legal
it
now,
used
but
to be.
They make it differently.
Yeah, it used to be outlawed,
it
but
doesn't have the wormwood in it.
It don't have the wormwood anymore.
That's like a psycho. Yeah, I'd love to get some of the original.
Yeah, that could.
Well, you could make it because wormwood grows everywhere in the southeast United States.
Exactly, but you can't
make it legally. I wouldn't think.
But if you add the wormwood to it and you get busted,
that's never stopped me. He's like, we got moonshiners in my family.
I mean, it's bootlegging.
Why would you let it stop you?
Like you've had.
Well, dude, I told you earlier, my grandpa was fucking, doing bathtub gin and shit and vodka back in the day. Right here in Gary, Indiana.
Hey, Rum.
Oh, there's Rum.
Rum and that entertainment channel.
Salacious, what's up?
What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Well, you were asking me something there, Rex, and I didn't hear you.
Now you've had moonshine before, right?
Oh yeah. Real homemade kind. Yeah.
Yeah, the real homemade kind. Yeah.
Yeah, not the stuff in the store. If you pay taxes on it, it's not moonshine, right? That's
exactly it. It's not real moonshine.
It's not paint stripper.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just the whole point of moonshine was that you didn't want to be beholden to the government and
Didn't
paying
ma-
taxes
didn't want to
for
pay that
doing
tax.
things.
That's right.
What, dude? This is shit that people have been doing at home all their lives. It was a tradition, and now all of a sudden you're gonna start taxing me on it? Fuck you.
I think that started with George Washington and the whiskey tax, because that's when everybody moved from the north
George
down south
Washington
to
was
make
a
their
fucking
mash.
bootlegger, dude. He made his own fucking spirits and shit. He made beer. He made fucking whiskey.
Yeah, and there's still, like in Alaska, you can still, there's some places where you're not even allowed to, like I think Alabama's one, you're not allowed to have a home distilled nothing, right? You can't make any liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
But
you can't. Yeah,
but in a lot of places, I think there's at least 7 or 8 states where, and Alaska's one of them, you can still make your own booze. The illegal part is selling it, you know?
yeah. It does. I mean, you can make it for your own consumption, and there should be nobody be able to say anything about it
Yeah.
as
What was
long as
that
you.
last comment? Was that collecting with cool? Is that who that was? No, I think the one
Oh.
before that. Maybe it was.
What?
rum.
Oh yeah, there's Star Wars collecting with cool. What's going on, Brett? That's my friend Brett.
Oh hell! Oi, oi, Carrie.
What's up?
Yeah, I mean, he's not Shadow Mare Comics. I got that all mixed up. So, but
That's
yeah.
right.
No, it's just Lack. He's a good dude.
We're the
Lack's
18.
in on my drawn in tier on the campaign, and we love Lack here, of course. And we talk about a variety of things. We could talk about Western movies till the cow
And
come home,
Mm-hmm.
as you can see by my avatar, we're back with Lack.
We're back with Lack. Okay. They're getting lamer as
We had a pretty good live together on my channel.
Oh, Rex, you just wait until next Saturday, my friend.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I got plans for you, buddy.
I bet you do. As long as I don't have to pick myself up off the floor, I'll be fine.
Nah, you'll be good.
Yeah. We've been the Food Network and how to skin animals and all kinds of stuff. But
We got all kinds of things tonight.
Yeah, I mean trapping's fascinating.
Dude, trapping used to be fun, but they took it all away from us here in Indiana, man. It's not legal no more. Not, dude, you can't even trap a muskrat no more. You can only, like, if you got a raccoon or a muskrat or anything on your property, you got to do a live trap.
Yes, Lack has a channel.
Your little permit to a local park department and blah blah blah.
Lack, can you drop that in the private chat and then I will share that out, or you can drop it in the chat if you wish.
I don't know if I know how to do that on my phone.
Do that on your device, okay?
I don't know if I know how to do that, but
guys in your phones.
If you search Lack Sivrak, there is only one channel, and you will find me. I'm sure somebody in the does Rum.
Yeah,
right. I mean, come on, Rum. Somebody's
got
Rum,
come on.
channel.
One of our everybody's got a wrench in this chat. Somebody dropped fucking Lack.
Well, I was just thinking of somebody who I knew, who I talked to,
and I just conferred a couple wrenches on people. So thank you for
Apex. I would love to, but
first time.
It's only this part of Indiana because I'm so close to Chicago. Once you get about 60 miles south of me, everything changes and it goes back to conservative. Indianapolis it's a little fucked up, but it's not too bad. But the closer you get to Kentucky, everything gets more and more conservative. I'm just up here in the northwest corner, and all of our politicians want to be crooked as fuck, like Chicago. So, like, they model their careers on fucking Chicago politics. It's funny to watch, dude. I've grown up here, and like for 35 years since I started paying attention to politics, I can pick and choose, and I watch these guys, and I go, "That one's going to jail. That one's going to jail." Sooner or later,
do not
sooner or later, they all go to jail.
Lack, what's the best thing in your opinion about Florida, and what's your best thing in your opinion about Alaska?
Oh, what's the best thing?
Best thing you like about Florida? Best thing you like about? Hey, Morb.
Well, Alaska certainly.
Shattermare is coming on at 8. I got the times wrong. More. You're absolutely invited to come on.
You're stuck with lack right now, baby.
Stuck with
That's right.
lack. We're back in.
It's a lack attack.
We're back in lack.
I don't know. My favorite thing about Alaska is basically just the freedom of it. You know, just the it's one of the freest places I've ever been. And you have quite a bit of access to the wilderness. You know, whereas when you get down into the United States down here, you know, the public land is not as much, and if you want to hunt, you might have to join some sort of club and private land and hunt, you know. So
yeah.
So here's a good question for you, like and I question this a lot of anybody that lives in Alaska. The polar bears have obviously figured out garbage dumps are a great place to get food. So, like in the areas that you're at, I mean, how's things been for you guys? Because I hear that like attacks are like going up a lot because people are just going to get rid of their garbage and then they run into a polar bear. You know.
Well, where the polar bears range, they've been a problem for so long that the what would you call it? The trash is a highly now I don't want to say regulated, but everybody who lives in an area where there are polar bears, which is completely rural, the people that live there are much smarter, I guess, than like a lot of
so
people.
they understand the danger.
They understand, and so
Okay.
they minimize a lot of any kind of trouble like that. And especially like when I worked on the North Slope.
Well, dude, you hear these horror stories of people like, "Oh, I was just walking by and I didn't realize I was near the garbage dump," and then they get their fucking head torn off by a polar.
That doesn't happen as much in Alaska because until the recent times, right? But that doesn't happen as much up there because people who live there are super conscientious about that issue.
Okay, yeah. I would
So
hope so. At this point, I would hope they had, like self-regulated and gone,
And of course there's all the dumps are got huge high fences around them.
Right, yeah. I think they're even guarded and stuff, right?
They have guard towers and guys with rubber bullets in their shotguns to deter the bears.
Mm-hmm. And that's the really cool thing too, is they're not even killing the bears. They're just like hitting them with rubber bullets
they just
or like
teach them not to
I think they use sometimes the pepper shells too, right?
They use pepper shells. They use and sometimes they'll even just use different noise.
Like blast bangs and shit.
Bang noises and stuff. When I guided, one of my main jobs was to keep the bears from tearing up these camps for the rich people, And a bear is fairly smart. You don't get a lot of return bears after they've been hazed away from an area,
Right. If you scare the shit out of them, they're probably not.
When they know that they're not welcome, they will generally not come back unless they have some sort of, if they're old and they have broken teeth and they can't hunt and they're going to starve. Those are the bears that you'll get returning to the dump stuff. And eventually those bears will.
Yeah. Or somebody did them a really bad fucking fucked up thing. Cause, dude, I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't know if you believe it or not, but I've seen way too many stories of bears, lions, tigers fucking being screwed over by people and surviving and then coming back and tracking that motherfucker down.
Oh, yeah. I've heard those. Yeah. Well, you got to think, in any of those animals that you mentioned, right? Though they hunt 365 days of the year, their entire life,
Yeah.
As compared to a human, especially a modern human who, they hunt on the weekends for a few months. The experience level.
Well, I mean, think about we used to hunt 365 days a year too.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you just happen to come across something that you could kill, you fucking kill it. That's extra
Yeah,
food.
yeah. There
Uh,
wasn't, and in Alaska, there's a lot of that too. You know, I mean, being raised by indigenous people, like you don't have to, take great heed. That culture doesn't have to take great heed in the hunting
better,
season and different stuff like that. You know.
right,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, you just come across it and you harvest it. It
But
is what it is.
there's still a sense of conservation. You know, like when the old people, they would never really shoot like a big giant bull moose that would be a trophy to any whatever you want to call them,
mhm.
the white man or whatever. A lot
Right.
a lot of old natives, they won't shoot that. They tell you that guy needs to be going out there and breeding and making more. And
Right. And plus, he's
Mhm.
not going to taste that good anyhow.
well, if you
That
get them when they're not rutting, they'll taste just as good. It's mainly just
I
rut
guess,
that,
but I mean, yeah,
but the prime meat for older indigenous people is that they would only shoot bear and cow moose, which by most standards is actually illegal to do.
yeah,
But the bear and cows are who you want, right? They're old and they're soft, and mostly the thing is that they're barren, and so they're not bringing anything back to the environment, right? They're not having any kids anymore. They're just eating the food.
Right.
And that was the prime thing that when I was a kid, all the old guys, that's what they taught us. They said you want to go find the barren cow and
yeah,
and that one because
yeah. That's because that's the best eating. You
that
want to shoot the one that's going to taste the best, you know?
well, and it was also a mindset of conservation too. Like a female moose can be fertile for over 20 years, and a female
Mm.
moose can have up to three babies every year. And
Oh,
so
wow.
you
That's a
so you
Really?
lot.
I didn't know
yeah.
they bred that fast.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they can have three they only breed once a year, but they can have triplets. It's possible for them to have
I
triplets.
thought you meant like 3 cycles every year. I was like,
No, no,
damn.
they only have one cycle, but they have a lot of twins. They
That
have triplets.
Those are some big babies, dude.
Yeah, they're
Have you
Really?
ever
Holy
drank
shit.
moose milk?
No.
no, but I have had caribou milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have had caribou milk. Yeah,
Yeah.
How was it? All right.
yeah, it was all right. It wasn't much different than. It was maybe a little different. Seemed a little more watery. You know.
Okay.
I mean,
Then
I've had like sheep's milk and stuff before.
yeah,
It's like,
I don't.
I
I
get
I
that.
only drink raw
Have
cow's
to
milk.
do a little bit of shilling here.
Do
Here's
it.
Shadowhawk and here's Lack in the drawn interior. There are
Woo.
eight spots, I
Look
think,
at those
left
beautiful faces, Lex.
on the drawn
You and I
interior.
are stars, my friend.
That's right.
On the drawn interior, the price has dropped to $80 for the drawn interior, and you'll also get written in as a permanent character if you so want it. Now we'll have to. There's Lack in his hat right there. The
Oh,
Lack attack. The Lack attack. That's what I'm
Lex.
talking. I've got to write that down because I'm going to use that in my dialogue.
Yeah.
Where
I
he's
think
like the Lack attack, huh?
I think that might be a product of Salacious Rum. I think he might have been the first one to ever call me the Lack Attack.
All right, you
Okay, all
did.
right. I did not know that. I
Yeah.
just thought I was original. Thanks for slapping me down so quick.
No,
Anyway.
it's all right. I mean,
No,
it's a good one.
I'm not that original after all. Okay. No.
There's no new.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of suggests itself, right? The Lack attack.
The Lack Attack. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Rum was maybe the first one that called me that years ago. Yeah, the Lack Attack. Yeah, man.
Mr. Blobby, love
Rex, check the chat. Is it more who we're looking for? You got something.
Morb is the writer, yes.
He's got something about the link. FOT link. I don't know what that means.
I don't let's see. I can send it to Shadow. I mean, the link's already sent to Shadow Mare. Now who's got access to that? I don't know. Morb. And you're not due to come on till 8 o'clock. My time, 9 Eastern. I just got the title. I thought we could go long, and I think we were talking 6, and I thought, well, we can go extra long and fill up a couple hours, no problem, and then talk to them on the end. But I think they
Nah,
moved it back
we'll
to
just
8,
go.
or we.
Hell,
I
we'll
don't know.
go
It was
all night.
back and forth. Whoever it was, more was you, and I understand when multiple people it was back and forth, and it it was a nightmare trying to pin it down to a day and time. But there's more.
Oh, thank you, Perry. I don't know why I did.
All right,
Oh my
let me
God,
go. I'm gonna do my thing.
Jesus! Ah,
All right, ciao. All right.
More?
Sorry, guys. Just on the phone with my publisher. He sent me the link.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how to get it
And-
to you. You know.
It's okay. It's okay. He sent me everything, and
Okay.
I really God, this was I just put on YouTube, and you guys are talking about my book, and God, I can't appreciate that more.
Well, I mean, we
So
haven't yet,
God,
but I
God
mean,
bless
I've got
every
this
one of you.
wrong. We're gonna talk about it at 8:00, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, we want to promote Mercenary Guild, and
Mhm.
I did contact Luke, and then whoever's, I guess,
yeah,
your
more.
publisher.
So you're the writer for my boy Luke?
I'm the writer and creator for sure. I
Oh,
wrote all
bro,
the characters.
that's totally awesome. I'm happy to meet you, man. Luke is a good dude. I've been a fan for a long time. I've been watching him grow as an artist over the last, God, at least, it's been a while now. I've been here since 2018, so I can't remember exactly when I ran into Luke the first time.
More, just give me a second. We'll talk about your project a little bit, and as
Absolutely,
a precursor,
absolutely.
we'll definitely be back at 8:00. But I've got to say this: we had a very generous donation talking about the drawn-in tier. And I will probably get for you can't get a better artist than Jay Kreger just about for the drawn-in tier. He knocked it out of the park with this double-page Midnight that
Holy
features
night.
Shadowhawk, Crooked Painter, and Lack. It's up on the campaign now. You can also see the Jimmy Reyes cover, and I put up a lot more artwork plus 3 pages to the Bog origin story that was done by Rob Ewing. I know I've shown them before, but if you want to look at them, they're at the bottom of the campaign as well. We've been making a lot of changes to the campaign of late. So, but now we had a very generous offer by Carrie. And I did tweet that out earlier today, that if you are a new backer to the campaign, whether you want to be drawn in or just buy a $10 sketch card or something, Carrie will donate. The first new backer that has not backed yet will get the blank sketch version of the book given to them with their order. So you can't beat that. You get the book free. The sketch version.
Can't beat it with a stick.
Can't beat it with a stick, but we'll sure try, right, Lack?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could, but why?
Now, are you a cigar guy? Are you a cigar guy?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a cigar golf guy.
Cigar golf.
Oh,
guy.
dude, yeah, for sure. If you're out on the golf course, you gotta have one, right?
Yeah, you just have to.
You
I
got it.
been more, but I hadn't talked to you in a couple of months, probably.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, and it's just because I know over the
Well,
summer
I'm
you
not
were
going
very
over Red
busy.
Valkyries as much. I've been busy reconfiguring my campaign. Now, next week, or a week from today, 3:00 Saturday. So next Saturday, 3:00, we'll be on Red Valkyries. She'll cosplay another character of mine. I believe that's the plan. So, we're going to launch this thing off again.
She is so good at cosplay, man. She has it down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
I've been really
I guess
busy.
you're going to get on and she'll cosplay one of your characters. Or did she? Yeah. Are y'all going to go on there?
If she has, I don't know about it, but I'd be very honored if she did.
Well, I mean, have you asked her to get on the show?
I have not. I've been busy with this. I just got our guitar picks They're on the way. They should be here by Friday. So
I think I remember one time you kind of got the philosophy like I do. I don't even know how much I put. They do say count the cost to a project before you really take it on. But for this first one, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to keep up with the cost. I'm just going to spend whatever it takes. I think you said that you spent $15,000 already.
Not quite. Not nowhere near that. I mean, for the whole book, maybe. I'm looking at. I really have to look, but I don't care. I really don't. I got a bonus at work, and my taxes.
Well, now, I noticed under Shadowmare, they're on issue 9 of something.
They're on issue 10 of Hardly Heroes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. They're on issue 10. They work a lot faster than we're working on.
How did you get connected with Shadowmare?
I don't know what the fuck.
So,
not my problem.
Excellent question. So there's this streamer who's kind of been banned off of YouTube named TFM, or Turd. His name is Turd Flinging Monkey, whatever. And so he does stuff on like the other channels. And I saw their ad. They were promoting, and I said, Hardly Heroes, that looks medieval or like role-playing game stuff, their logo. So I clicked on it, and it sent me to the Indiegogo, and I got their first issue, their Indiegogo exclusive cover, and I read it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it within a reasonable amount of time because I have back campaigns back as far as 2018, and I still don't have them. But Hardly Heroes got it. I said, okay, this guy's in my veins. So I wrote a novel or a novelette. I was kind of trying to do what Razor Fist did with his novelettes.
Mm-hmm.
If before he did the Western comic, and I sent it to Pete Samiti of Alterna, and he says basically, good luck, bro. I guess Pete wanted like something more completed, not just a story. He wanted
I think he wants like 3 issues at least submitted, something like that. It's not easy to get an Alterna gig by any means.
No, but I sent it to him anyway because I was a fan of Pete Samiti and what he did. But he
6480 says he was #1 backer on Mercenary Guild.
Dude, God bless you, Halder. I mean, thank you. And Halder is doing some incredible art for a guy who just started it like 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing stuff that is borderline professional. I mean, it really is. This guy's going to go far, man, if he sticks with it. He's so damn good. He's learned so fast. But anyways, that being said, I love you, Halder. Always been a supporter of me, and God bless that guy or girl.
Backers over on Indiegogo, $432.
Yeah, I just sold an $80 bundle today before I logged on.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. And
I noticed that Shadowmare has 3 campaigns already. What were the other 2 previous campaigns? Do you know more?
Well, they did. Obviously, Hardly Heroes is the main book.
Okay.
And that is a fantasy book, but is different from Mercenary Guild. And you'll see that when you read them. But I strongly suggest buying Hardly Heroes. I mean, if you like D&D campaigns and fun stuff.
So probably the other 2 previous were campaigns.
And then there's Victor.
Hardly Heroes related?
Well, we might do a crossover issue at some point in time.
Do they have more than Mercenary Guild and Hardly Heroes, or is that it?
There's Victor. There's Victor.
Okay.
And that is the continuation of the Frankenstein monster story.
Oh.
And the Frankenstein monster, da da da, and I actually helped edit that.
There we go.
Me
There's a
and
sexy
the
eyebrows.
writer of Kyle from Hardly Heroes, the writer of Hardly Heroes, we help edit that. And so Victor is another thing that I think they're ready to come out with, and that's going to be more of a graphic novel. So,
Well, I mean,
and
once you
as
get
far
so
as
many
so
issues,
how I
you can
got
compile
hooked up with them is I just sent them an email with a PDF attachment of my novelette. And it was probably 63 pages, I think. And I never thought I'd ever hear from them again. And within 5 days, they said, "Can we call you? This is good."
Well, the way I came up with the, it finally dawned on me more. You would think for a writer, although I've been an artist longer than a writer, really, was I can write these stories faster than I can have art teams do the art and all the, the inking and the lettering and all that. It's like I can write. So what I'll do is like a pulp, a Western pulp, which Lack will be in, his character, and we'll have the best of both worlds. So we'll do a midnight comic book story right in the middle of the pulp, and then for the other chapters, we'll have chapter artwork. And I'm hoping Jay Krager will at least do the chapter artwork.
Yeah, I mean, initially I was thinking of just having a novelette with chapter art.
Because you
Brian,
gotta admit, that's a beautiful lady, right, Lack? I mean, that midnight character's
Hey, I've never met one I didn't love.
Right, yeah.
That's how you do
Philly. We call them Phillies, right?
That's right.
That's how you do it. So Brian talked me, and I figured this is
my book. Have you got sexy in your book?
Oh, well, the first volume probably not, but there's definitely a trading card. If you go to shattermarecomics.com and you sign up for the mailing list and you back the book, you will get an Elven Sorceress trading card, and she will become prominent later on.
Now that's by Luke, right?
Absolutely. Black and white.
Yeah. That's kind of sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably seen. And yeah, so that's by Luke. And yeah, definitely. We also have, so once we get this campaign, we're on Indiegogo right now. Once we go to Kickstarter, we have another cover for that. And we have another cover for Fund My Comic. And one of them is a Conan homage of 1982. It's an oil painting.
I've seen it.
The Conan. So it's Bane, my main character, and the Elven Sorceress at his legs. So
take a drag and say, "Get to the chopper."
Yeah, we had to. We
get to the chopper.
So for people who are waiting on that, definitely those. Once we get this campaign ironed out, because right now the trailer's not right. You have to be logged on to YouTube because it shows a breast or something. And
yeah, it's adult.
Yeah, so we're fixing that, but definitely. If you want to see those other covers, the cover A is actually my.
Have you heard from Luke? Because his place flooded.
I talked to Luke on 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, apparently his hot water heater gave up the ghost and kind of flooded.
God damn. Dude, that guy has more. That guy needs ink spots like at his side at all times.
Yeah, ink spots is a plumber.
Yeah. He needs ink spots as just his at his side.
Yeah. I mean, he said, "I'll try and be on there tonight." I mean, I didn't talk to him, but a couple of days ago when I, asked him, I said, "Just a heads up, we're going to have the Shadow Mare," and Luke's already been on with one of you guys, talking a Mercenary Guild. Actually, this is the second time we've talked about your project. But and that was the first time we've had Luke on in all these years. That's the first time we actually got him on. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah. So hopefully he'll be able to make it. He said, I don't know. I've been up since 7:30 or 7 in the morning, taking out wet stuff,
Usually he texts me all his problems because I'm kind of like his
You've
de
probably been too
facto.
busy in the clinic.
Yeah, we're kind of each other's de facto psychiatrists. When I
That's
have
bad.
issues, I will talk with Luke, and when he has issues, he will talk with me. But yeah, that's the first I've heard of it. So I know when they went through the hurricane, because his girlfriend, Flying Feline, you definitely check out her channel.
Yeah.
She was flooded, and I sent them $100. It was the best I could do.
Like
But I want my money going to somebody who needs it. And
like you're in Florida, have you been flooded where you're at? I mean, I know that Kate from
I'm in
Orlando,
California.
She got flooded twice.
I'm in California.
Right. Now Lack's out on the panel as well. He's in Florida.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad.
I have not knock on
wood. I
have not been flooded in this house that I'm in currently, which is this house has been here since 1919, and it
really,
and it has never had water. Yeah, it's never had water in it.
Shadowhawk shared the other day that his place is from the 1880s.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah. I used to live in a building that was built in the 1880s. Before I moved into this house, which was, I think, put together in 69. If I can trust the commode, you lift up the commode and look in the tank, see what time it's press dated in there.
We don't have basements here. No, I grew up in Minnesota.
What'd you back?
So we don't have basements here in California, unless the old Victorian houses had them. But I think the 1906 earthquake kind of screwed the pooch on that basements. So, but definitely, yeah. So I got in touch with Shattermare because I was a fan of what they did, and then they kind of talked me into doing a graphic novel, and Brian was the one who got in touch with Luke. And then I interviewed Luke, and you want to talk about acing an interview. Luke nailed it. I would love you to play the trailer.
It again. $532, 14 backers. You're 100.
Holy shit! I made 100 more cents.
You are now funded. Yeah.
Holy night! All right. Well, thank you. God bless every one of you. Or if you don't believe in God, that's fine too. So Luke and I talked, and it's like we were brothers from another mother. Like the music we're into.
I'm just wondering.
It's like just absolutely love the guy. I said, "You're the guy. Yeah. You're the guy.
You're the reason why I can't get him on a sing along of Doom anymore."
Yeah, I know. And then we found, as colorist, his name is W. Frank Walk. Out of
Morb is not going to save anything for 8 o'clock. I'll have no questions, and I'll just let him talk.
Oh no, we'll do 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll do 8 o'clock. Well, I mean,
Brian might not be able to make it because he has some personal issues.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can get Luke on, but if he
but I am texting him.
Got any of the other art team? Let them know too. We'll have on.
Yeah, we did it. We did a Who Dis with Frank, myself, and Luke, and we rocked it out. So go to Death Metal Heroes channel to hear that. We rocked the house, man, on that stream.
Now who?
But yeah,
who
so I
did?
got in touch with them, and I didn't know how to make a comic script. I really still don't. And so what I did is I just kind of broke up my novel. I edited a lot of stuff out, and then I gave Luke the freedom to just read it and draw what the hell he thought, and he nailed it. I mean, this is the first time this guy's ever done interiors.
Right.
And it's my first
interiors are a
comic.
lot harder, I mean, to do really than just pinup stuff or even a cover shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
and
leveled up so much
did it.
in the 3 years or so that I've known him. He's leveled up incredibly, you know, just because he keeps at it, you know.
He's a pro, in my opinion. He's a fucking pro. And we would meet every 2 weeks on Discord, and we would talk about the pencils, about the art. So he didn't do like 30 freaking pages, and then we say, well, page 5 is wrong. I mean, there were times we added a page, you know, because this doesn't flow well, and that's partially on me.
Yeah, it was
on me, on my storytelling, and it's like, okay, I'll take it on the chin, and let's add this. And I wrote something, you know.
Like, I know you got your own channel, but that you share this stuff on. But have you gotten anything recently, collectible wise, that you just dying to show everybody?
Oh, no, not really. Not really.
Okay.
I got a display up here that I'm working on, but it's not finished. But when it's finished, we'll have a big show. I got to put up some rock wall back here on this wall and down here. And
now you got a Rooster Cogburn figure, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I am supposed to tomorrow. No, not tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, 1:00 our time, on Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. They have him and Gary's Grails. We're gonna open it for the first time tomorrow. Okay. On Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. They have a hot toys show every Sunday.
Okay.
And so this Sunday is I said, well, I don't know. And they said, well, come on and finally open. Because
have you opened the Steve McQueen?
No, I will never open the Steve McQueen.
He's the king of cool, and there was only 200 of them made, right?
Yeah, there's only 200 of that. Yeah, I would like to get a couple more of that same. What was that? Toys McCoy out of Japan. They make I think maybe 4 more. Steve McQueen's from the different films. The Hunter,
maybe the Getaway.
Well, yeah, Hunter, I think they do Getaway.
The Hunter was his last one.
Yep, and that's the super hard one to find too. Super hard to find that one. And then I know they do a Wanted Dead or Alive.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I think that'd be neat to get. And there's another one in there too, but I just can't remember what it is. Maybe Thomas Crown Affair, something like that.
Oh, I love Thomas Crown Affair. I mean, I thought it was cool with young Faye Dunaway.
Oh yeah, young Faye Dunaway. Yeah, absolutely.
You know the way they did that turnaround with the chess set? They were actually on a skateboard going around and around them while they filmed that. Because I mean, it wasn't like they had the backpack. These, small cameras that they have today.
Yeah.
It's amazing how smooth that turnaround is around.
And that's why back then they made films, and these days they just make movies.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Cincinnati Kid was a good one too.
Cincinnati Kid was great. And
with W.C. Field? No, not W.C.
Carl Malden.
Field. No,
Carl Malden.
Carl Malden, but
the
also
other notes of Hollywood.
Well, we just lost Gene Hackman. He was in The French Connection. A lot of people don't
what's
even
up
know
with
that movie.
man? His wife too, the same day. Was it an accident? Was it murder?
A lot of people don't even know The French Connection.
Shame on them. Shame on them if they.
Shame on them if they don't know that. That kind of made Gene Hackman really into a main star.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that was.
I mean, even though he was in plenty of stuff before that. going way back.
His
Seven.
IMDb is very long
Yeah,
and distinguished.
We were going to watch Mississippi Burning the other night, but it got a little bit too late. But that's a good Gene Hackman film that nobody really remembers.
I don't know if I've seen that. I remember when it came out, but I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
that maybe one.
I've seen
Maybe
James
one.
Woods.
Yeah, I think Willem Dafoe is in it too, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gene Hackman may be one of the last true, real Hollywood.
Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, I
God,
never.
I mean, we could go on and on.
I never really liked that one, but
Crimson Tide. I mean,
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
Yeah, Unforgiven was definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I did like The French Connection.
I mean, 95. You've had a lot. He was
A
retired.
Superman. I mean,
Superman, Lex Luthor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 95
and
not
Jackie
a bad run,
and
huh?
Jackie Cooper as Perry White. You know,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
never realized, but Jackie Cooper was a TV exec in the 60s, and he oversaw like I Dream of Jeannie, Impossible, Mission Impossible. I don't know, a whole slew of hit shows in the 60s. I never knew that. He goes way back. He used to be a little rascal.
Mhm.
Childhood actor, Jackie Cooper. Kind of like what's that? $100. So $100 make you holler? Is that what you dropped on the campaign?
I mean, I'm texting the guys right now. Thank you so much. I'm just so grateful. Thank you. Thanks for backing the book, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. You're going to get a bookmark, a guitar pick. The guitar picks are Diodario, so they're quality.
And when do
And
you
they're gonna
think
have
you'll
the
be
logo on 'em.
fulfilling more? Do you know yet?
Do I what?
I know you're still running the campaign, but when do you have a goal to when you want to fulfill? Because it's 100%.
I mean, I seriously think by April,
really
maybe end of
okay.
April, we can
Because the
fulfill
artwork's
this.
done, right?
Everything's done. Letters are done. Eric Weathers did the letters.
Okay.
Colors are done. Art is done. Writing's done. Edits done. We
But
just
the
got to print it.
the Conan is going to be a Kickstarter, isn't it? It's going to be a
I think that's
Kickstarter?
going to be a Fund My Comic. We have another. Luke came together with a amalgamation of all the characters, and I think that's going to be the Kickstarter cover as well. And that might be raffle. I think there's a raffle on that too. And there's going to be original art offered, but the character Malchus, the original art will not be available because it's here. And I do have a price for it, but I don't know if anybody wants to pay it. That's going to be, that's my art. You know, that's the one thing I wanted from this campaign sent to me, and it's his pencils but I can be bartered to part with it for the right price, but otherwise there's going to be a lot of original art available, and it's right now on Indiegogo. And take a look at the campaign, and you know, there's going to be something you like.
There you go. Lack, have you ever eaten alligator?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You like it? You like it?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I got some family in Louisiana that go and alligator hunt every October.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to join them for the last couple of years, but scheduling has not allowed me to.
Have you hunted for wild pig?
A few times, yeah. They're pretty easy to find and shoot.
Is there, I mean, any gaminess to that? I don't know, besides wild pig jerky, that I've ever eaten wild pig. What's the difference?
It seems like the older boars don't taste as good. You know, you want to shoot the
now the boars got the tusk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the older, you don't want to shoot those big giant, the ones that go in the trophy books don't seem to taste very good. I've only had a few of those, but
very gamey.
But
I
yeah,
did not know because my father worked at Lone Star when I was growing up in the late 60s, early 70s. And you would go into Lone Star, right? And they would have their display room. Well, the main guy was a hunter. He had rhinoceros head. He had water buffalo. I believe he had an elephant head. So, and now the other day on one of our shows, I heard that it's illegal even to own that stuff.
well, it's not. No, if it's there's certain animals and there's time frames. Like you can still buy, sell, and trade tiger rugs and polar bears.
Okay.
They just have to be accompanied by a piece of paper that shows that they were taken before a certain year. I think it's 1927 for tigers.
And how would you get that? Because like my uncle, he had a zebra skin up. I think it was either, I can't remember if it was a tiger. I think it was a tiger rug with the head.
Mm-hmm.
It was either that or bear, but I really think it was tiger, which is unusual in the early 70s, late 60s. Their house was like built in the 40s. It's still there. It's not far from here, but that was unusual in Northeast Arkansas to have a zebra skin and a tiger rug.
Mm-hmm.
It was just unusual,
I think it's if you don't have any information, you can get it certified by certain taxidermists because they can, they can kind of age the, how long the taxidermy's been around and the methods in which they use. But just to own them, it's not any big deal to own it. It's just when you go to sell it, most dealers who would sell it for you. Now, if you were just selling it from you to me, it's much like a firearm. A private citizen can sell anything legal, to another private citizen.
Well, that blew me away.
I think cheetah pretty risque. If you have like a cheetah skin.
I think you can still I think you can still hunt cheetah in Africa in some places. So I'm not real sure. I know that there's a couple places in Africa where they've drawn back the amount of leopards that they're shooting, but that's just in a few regions, where they're trying to get the population back up.
Yeah.
But most anything in Africa, unless it's
trying to get my camera right,
unless they're on the endangered species list, they definitely will let you hunt them.
This is the first time I've seen you, Morb. Don't go away.
Hey, welcome.
I know. I'm trying to get this freaking cord.
Welcome to the stream. We got a face to put with
I know. I'm the
ugliest
ugliest. I'm the ugliest son of a bitch ever.
Oh
on
no,
the
I've
internet.
seen uglier, and I mean, they're
I
on the
really
show.
am.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate.
Oh, nice,
that.
amazing.
There's my Spider-Man. There's my
yeah.
John Romita Sr.
number 200
Spider-Man shirt.
Yeah, or 100. Is it 100?
I think so.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, issue 100. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, did you? Oh, have you
set.
seen my Gorgo lap?
All right, but yeah, I'm the ugliest guy on this stream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you're not going to get me to argue with you.
Nobody's going to argue. That's for sure.
26 points of articulation, and most of it's in the tail.
Wow.
Changing head with glow in the dark eyes. I mean, Gorgo.
All right.
Come on. Public domain.
I got a guy from Lord of the Rings here. It's that horseman guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the horseman who's what? How the fuck? I hate technology.
All right. Yeah,
all right, here we go.
There
we go.
Right.
There we go. He got a helmet that comes off. See?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. He's that horseman guy. I will cut your head off if you stood taller.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Reminds me kind of of Bane, my main character. And if you back now, you get a free guitar pick.
There you go.
And it's on the campaign, and it hopefully it looks the way I designed it.
Now who plays guitar?
I would appreciate,
Who plays guitar?
I play guitar.
Anybody? You do?
I play guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you play bass or what?
I've messed around with the bass.
Okay.
You know, it's all guitar. So one time I messed around. I actually went to so my boss brought me to these people who had this like high-end music store, and they had a stand-up bass. So I started playing the bass line from Billie Jean. Do 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 do. I don't know how I did it. I just knew it. And so I just played it. And they were floored. Like, so I don't know. But I mainly play a six
musical
string.
instrument. I've never asked you that. Do you play?
I used to play quite a bit of harmonica.
Do you?
But,
Have you done the juice?
I play harp.
Oh yeah,
I play harp.
harp. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of them around here somewhere. I love.
You can
playing
break your teeth with that thing if you miss.
You got to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah.
I actually have a. I have a harp in the key of C.
Yeah.
Now you're just flexing, Shadowhawk. Now you're just flexing.
Oh yeah. I played the trumpet also when I was young in school. I played the trumpet for a while.
But yeah, I've played guitar for a lot of years now. I'm not particularly great. I'm more of a blues, hard rock blues based, you know, Thin Lizzy type of guitar player, you know, but I can throw down some classical licks here and there.
Nice.
Lack, if I came over to your place, what would be the musical selection we would listen to? What do you like?
Oh, I don't know. It would specifically, it would probably change on the day of the week, but I would guarantee you that it would be between, you know, the years of 1953 and 1969.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The genre may change, you know, depending on the day.
Yeah. So we might get Buddy Holly, maybe, or
yeah, you get Buddy Holly,
Buddy Holly, Elvis,
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Bo Diddley.
You know, I only live about 45 minutes from Dice, Arkansas, where he was born.
Oh, really?
Little Richard.
In fact, my mother donated some farm equipment, old mule drawn farm equipment, and it's sitting out there on his house estate.
Oh, nice.
Where he was born.
That's really cool.
Obviously,
Mort,
Beatles,
kind of
Beatles, Stones, Hendrix, Doors.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe Procol Harum.
Some of the more. I mean, you know, I may not be the. I don't know. I don't listen to too many Beatles and probably not too much of the Stones anymore. You know, but like, you know, Cream, Janis Joplin, Otis Redding.
Yeah.
How about Grace?
You know, some of them. What's that? Oh, Grace Slick. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Motown, like
Shadowhawk.
all of Motown.
Shadowhawk got to kiss her when he was 16.
Wow.
She gave him tongue, and then she left, and Shadowhawk had to pay for her and all the band in the restaurant.
Check this out.
Wow.
He got stuck with the check by Grace Slick. How cool
it's probably worth it though, huh?
It was probably
I got a
worth it.
story. I got another Jefferson Airplane story.
Okay.
So when I was in college in the 90s, there was a homeless guy, and he was the drummer for Jefferson Airplane. And he came, and I wasn't part of this fraternity, but I was friends with him, and I always hung out there. I probably should have been part of the fraternity. Anyways, long story short, he came in, and one of the guys had a drum set, and he just rocked it, you know. And he was this homeless guy, and he is San Jose, and he was the first drummer of Jefferson Airplane. It was just kind of surreal, you know.
And
it was kind of surreal, you know. And this guy could play drums, and he was the guy. And you know, everybody gave money and food and stuff, and let him clean up. But it was just weird, man. Guy's a legend. Guy's a legend. He's fucking homeless on the streets.
Yeah, well, that's what happens with so many. I used to be really good, close, personal friends with a girl who was Janis Joplin's roommate in her very short stint at college.
Yeah.
And
was she a looker?
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
Janice was not a looker.
I don't know. A lot of people say that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just when I watch her. Maybe it's the talent or something. But I see a type of beauty when I look at Janice. I don't think that she's.
Well, yeah.
I never
Yeah,
found.
it's all in
People
the.
would say, "Oh, she's ugly," and like I don't know, man. I don't see it. I think
Well,
she's
I
pretty
mean,
cute.
she's not Linda Evans.
What
Yeah,
the
that's-
fucking?
yeah, exactly. No, but
What the
I don't know.
fuck
I
is this
also-
Falcon's Crest or
Yeah.
what the fuck?
No, I
Big
never.
Valley.
Yeah, I never saw. And of course her roommate that I halfway dated for a while. I mean, you know, she's 30 something years older than me, but she still looked good to me, you know. And then
Oh yeah, that's the age, man. When you're in your 20s, man. I'm not going to say anything more because I'll just get myself in trouble.
no,
I
hey,
mean-
my first wife who I was with for 10 11 years, she was 30 years older than me. You know, we stayed together for a long time. Had a lot of fun too. Had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You care to go into any detail on that, or?
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to weigh in on this, folks. Just back my book, and I'm not going to offend anybody.
The man's here
that's
to
what.
sell stuff.
Look, I've just been texted. Don't offend anybody.
Don't offend anybody.
There you go. There you
We
go.
knew that when
well,
you
we're
threw
gonna
in
have
the-
on
and if you don't,
Mercenary
and if you don't
Guilds.
believe in God, that's fine too. We knew.
I'll be candid, but yeah.
Well,
But I'm on your side, man. I'm on your side.
well,
Yeah,
Lack
older,
is-
especially when you're in your 20s, older women are just magnificent.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Cougar-
I always went after the older women.
Cougars fucking rock, man. I mean, if you're a cougar in the chat, God bless every single one of you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and back my book.
and
Well,
back.
back my book. Buy my book. Buy my book. I actually put that on my campaign. Picture of me going, buy my book.
Yeah, I
well,
see. I seen
thank
that,
you,
that
Cecil.
earlier. That was good. I like that drawing too.
God, I
Rob
look
Ewing
like
did
shit.
that, and then
How can I look this bad? I used to be a handsome man.
Well,
Dude, guys, really don't make comics and don't drink or smoke or do anything because you're going to look like me, and that
Whoops,
sucks.
that lets Lack out. Uh-oh.
I was going to ask: are we having Glenn Fittich or Glenn Levitt? Which one? What are we having? We got Glenn Fittich 15. And
Oh,
Glenn Levitt. What is this? I think this is a Founders Reserve, so it has no year.
Well, it doesn't look
Glenn
like
Levitt.
cracked
Glenn
ice
Levitt.
from
You
24 up,
you can't
know?
go wrong with Glenn Levitt. You
All
can't
right.
go wrong.
Well, here's to y'all's book.
Well, there you go. And there is a special offer, at least on my book. You know, you can get a guitar pick over on Mercenary Guild, but now we have a very generous offer by Carrie. She will buy the first new backer to my campaign a copy of the book, the sketch cover. So, and that's a wraparound cover, and it's magazine size. So if you're an artist, you like to draw, that's a lot of drawing space. Front and
Also,
back.
And I
Also-
tell you, Luke loves doing sketch covers. So if you can get a hold of Luke, he will do sketch covers and he will knock it out of the park. He loves that shit, man.
yeah, go for
Absolutely
it, Carrie.
loves it.
There's also, if you back Devil Flyer's book and you're an eligible or not eligible woman, and you come to Florida, Lack will take you out on a date.
Hey, there you go.
So,
Best offer
you
you're
go.
going to get today.
All right.
And fucking A, it is.
Yeah. Shoot, I might go.
I won't subject anybody. I won't subject
Bobby
anybody
will.
to dating me because I would not want to put them through that hell. I
Lack,
care
if I
about
came-
women.
If I
more
came down
than-
to Florida, where would we go out to eat?
Oh, well, I guess it would depend on what you're in the mood for. That's there's one of the best steaks I've ever had is not more than a 15-minute walk from my house.
That would do. Yeah.
And it's hard to beat a good steak.
What's your cut of steak?
Ribeye, I would say.
Oh, damn it. I say that all the time. Very rarely do I get my cut, which is New York strip.
I'm a
Everybody likes
T-bone. I'm a
the
T-bone
little
guy.
rebuys that big. Come
No,
on, guys. Be
no,
a carnivore.
Yeah,
Eat
I'm
more
a
meat.
Ribeyes.
T-bone guy.
You're
T-bone all
Okay.
the way.
I don't mind a bone-in rib, man, but a ribeye. I mean, the ribeyes here are hanging to the plate.
All right. Have you ever had a tomahawk?
Yeah, and I don't care for them.
Okay.
I don't care for them.
Okay.
Not
How about
really.
you, Morb? If I went out to California, and where in California are you? North, south?
Oh shit, I'm in the Bay Area, but I take you over to Santa Cruz where the Lost Boys was filmed, and I
Okay.
take you over to the boardwalk, and there's a place there called the Crow's Nest, and we can get the best calamari on the planet.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I like
now.
calamari now.
Even if you don't like calamari, it's there, and then they got steaks, and it's funny. So and it's right off the water. It's it's in the harbor.
Makes the difference in how it's prepared.
And then we can shoot down to Capitola and go to Margaritaville.
Okay.
And you can get a T-shirt. And they serve Mexican food there. I have no idea why they serve Mexican food at Margaritaville, but there's a place called Zelda's.
Go with the margaritas.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
And but there's a place 5 doors down called Zelda's, and that has some amazing blues bands, and it's the place. It's if you don't want to be a tourist, go to Zelda's. Go to Margaritaville, just get your T-shirt and say you've been there, and then go to Zelda's and party. Yeah. And then go out on the beach because it's right off the beach, and that's in Capitola. And then if you really aren't party enough, we can go to Monterey and hit Cannery Row and hit, we're on Highway 1. So
he would take me out to Alcatraz and leave me.
And leave you.
I probably would.
And I'd just swim out with the sharks,
And somebody who's been incarcerated in his past.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Well, just jail.
Jail and prison.
Yeah.
We're going to call it quits because we got, we're going to call, I got to change this title because, maybe.
Back the book.
Back the book.
I didn't kill it.
Talk more about Mercenary Guild at 8:00 Central, 9:00 Eastern. I know it's getting late for Carrie there. It's past midnight, way past, about 1:00 there. It's in the UK. But
you're
thanks
in the
for
UK.
hanging with us so long. Thank you, Lack, for coming on and talking about just all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
You're back on at 8, huh?
Back on at 8, and we'll be talking more Mercenary Guild. You're invited if you want to come.
All right,
why not? Just whatever.
8:00. So on Pacific Coast, what is that?
Well, let's put it this way. It is 6:45 now. So here. So we're talking an hour and 15 minutes.
15
back here. Yeah. Hour and 15 minutes.
I think that'd be maybe 6 your time, but I could be wrong about that.
That's above my pay grade, and I don't even try.
6 my time.
Yeah,
there you go. Come on, you figure it out.
Yeah.
I got it.
I asked Hockey that. He's down there.
He said, I've done my
in
part.
Australia, there's 26 hours difference, and he won't tell me the time.
Well,
we never
if I get froggy and go live on my own channel, I when I see you're on, I'll shut it down because I just had a big gulp of scotch, so like
you don't. Oh, okay.
I'm ready to rock now, baby.
I tell the Aussies, don't tell me what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, Lack General, by the way.
Sure.
You've been frog gigging, right? I got to ask you that since.
Yeah. I've had some family. Okay. Yeah.
I figured you did. Yeah.
Not
even
my
I've
favorite.
Been frog gigging.
Yeah, not my favorite food, but it's a fun time,
Yeah. And generally that's why you make it. There is the serious hunt, but often it's good to get together with a buddy.
Yeah, camaraderie.
The camaraderie, right? You bond that way, right?
Yeah, and
I'm a little kid going out with my uncle in Oklahoma, and we're firing a gun, and I'm getting kicked back.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. funny as
Yeah.
hell. Yeah. You want to help me up?
I love guns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write a story that's all about guns.
Well, Lack's
Oh.
all lubed up now. Go over to Lax. He's going to start up a stream.
That's right.
I
We'll
didn't
put
mean
that-
it like that, but maybe, Anyway, Salacious Rum says Lack is the real deal.
Thank you, Rum. Thank you.
Oh
man.
yeah, man. I got mad
I've already
respect
checked
for
with
you.
the Aussies, and I get it on with supermodel Helen
Elaine
Christensen later on today. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good for you.
When I do,
bro.
I'll do 6. I try to do like 6-hour stream. I probably won't tonight because it's already started late. But I always try to do a 6-hour stream. That way we catch all the community. So we'll get the Australians in. We'll get the UK crowd in. People are just waking up in the UK and they go, "Oh, hey, Lack is on." And we've been going 3 or 4. You and I had a great stream for quite a few hours, Rex, the last time.
Oh yeah,
And-
it was a lot of
Hey
fun.
man, can somebody post a link to your channel?
Oh yeah,
'Cause I'd
Rum.
like
If
to
you'll
check
do,
it out.
if Rum will do that one more time before we take off.
Yeah.
And I only say Rum because I know he's the one person that I know he'd have
He's on
access
it, yeah,
to it quickly.
yeah.
He wouldn't have to look it up.
Him and Howder 6480 did it last time.
And Darth Wizzy Wiz, if he's still here, I'm glad you stopped by. I think one of y'all were in the middle of talking, so I didn't get a chance to say anything, but I gave you a thumbs up. Darth Wizzy Wiz is the most dangerous man in Canada. And he has and look, Salacious Rum and Darth Wizzy Wiz both have channels also. So if y'all are definitely check out Rum. He's one of the greatest individuals, not only on YouTube but probably in the world.
More
Big
if you
heart.
need me to drop that in the private chat, I can. Whichever's easy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna copy it. As
Okay.
far as Luke about the flood, I have no idea. I've not spoken to him.
Okay. I'll try and get a hold of him before the show. Join
tell
us
him
back
if
in
he
about
hasn't
an hour
learned
and
to-
15 minutes.
A maintenance
All right,
of the
so
water
I just
is very
subbed.
important.
I just subbed to your channel, Lack.
Oh well, thank you,
So-
sir. We
There you
talk
go.
Yeah,
about
Now
absolutely.
we talk about
Now
all
he's only
kinds
got
of stuff.
2,000 subs.
No, I'm
Where are you at with the channel?
me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the 380s somewhere.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
All right, well,
Yeah.
381.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate
You
that.
are more.
What?
You are 381. Oh,
No,
you're
he is.
381 on him.
No, he's
Okay.
380. He's
Yeah.
the next.
Well,
he's
I'm
the
probably the
More.
latest.
How can people get a hold of you?
They can go on Twitter at Morb357. And that's about it. I don't have a
Okay.
YouTube
All right.
channel.
657-309.
Morb357. This is my favorite caliber of handgun.
I
There you
got
go.
it. I got it.
That's a good one.
We'll be back in about an hour and 15 minutes, and we're going to get in depth with Morb and whoever else shows up
That's
and
right.
talk some mercenary guilds.
They're gonna go deep.
Yeah, just send
We're
me.
gonna
So
deep
go to
dive and
go to
Lack might even
Twitter
crash
and
us. I'll
and
send
send
you-
me a link to the next stream.
He may be well lubed up by that time. He may be glistening.
Well,
Just saying.
I glisten a lot of the time there, babe.